You Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, regardless of where you are in this crazy world. How are we all doing today? And we are back, boys and girls. We are back. Let's relax the tunes some. Relax on the tunes. There we go. Look, boys and girls. We have no characters. Nothing. Not one. Zippo. So, I guess, first and foremost, we should make our hunter, shouldn't we? We should get our hunter. Hang about. We should get our hunter. Quickly claim the name. Boom! We are back. No characters, no professions, no materials, no nothing. Fresh start on the beta. Hopefully there was a bunch of changes. I'm really excited to get some of the changes on. Well, we know of one big change. The WoW Economy subreddit was just crying. Oh boy. Yes, boys and girls. New bags, new Shadowlands bags. They are here. Let's log ourselves in. New Shadowlands bags are here. First and foremost, the very first thing I want to do today is I want to get my Night Fae Covenant and get my garden on the go again, because I'm going to need lots of materials again. Here we go. How is everybody doing today? Is everybody well? I am feeling good. I've been awake for quite a long time already today. For me, anyway. So, alrighty. What that does mean is we're not on the coffee this morning. We're past the coffee. We're onto the waters already. It's all good. Okay. Right. Oh, it feels so fresh. It feels so new. At least all my key bindings are there. Let's do a quick few quality of life changes. Names. I can't see anything. I can't be reading all of this business. We need the magical glasses of seeing ability. +2 to vision stats. Let's go. We need the NPC names. We need action bars. We need. What do we need? We need auto loot, because allow picking up loot individually. That's probably it. That'll do. Let's fix our horrendous setup that we have going here. We're going to have talents, everything. Oh dear. Chimera shot, yes please. Crows, yes please. Stomp will keep. Aspect of the beast will keep. That'll do us. This down here, this up here, this over here. This is that one. Disengage is down here. Primal Rage is over here. Evening, it's 1 AM here. Oh boy. Well, I'm still catching the the night owls of the US, I imagine then. Welcome. We need our mount to be that one. Kill command is this button, this is that button. Counter shot is E, flare is something over here I can never remember. Barb shot is 3. Open shot is 1. Arcane shot not on the bars. Kill shot. Now I'm really confused with what's going on. That one over here. That one there. I think we're good. We're missing some stuff. What are we missing? We're missing rank shot. We are missing crows is 4. Concussive shot is shift. No, concussive shot is shift E. Exhilaration is shift Q. Misdirection is I can't remember. I can't remember my own keybinds. Oh my god. wave to you too. Howdy, howdy. We will get to the good stuff soon. Good morning. Here I sit on my 2,000 bags. Oh no. I was quite. I'm not going to say I was surprised to see bags turn up. I said from the very beginning, tailoring is still going to get some love. Tailoring was feeling very, very empty, very bare bones. And so what happened? Yes, they added bags. What is usually my Q button, boys and girls? My Q button is usually men pet, isn't it? Yes. Why do I not? Oh, well, okay. I don't have 5. I don't have shift 5. Where's Bestial Wrath? Bestial Wrath is shift 3. What is that mouse button? Oh, that's Chimera Shot. What are you doing over there? Then what is... I'm definitely missing something still. And it's too early in the day for me to work out what it is. I'm missing a key binding. Mouse wheel down. What's mouse wheel up? Oh, mouse wheel up is misdirect, of course. Durr. Okay, cool. Excellent. We're good. Let's pick our covenant quickly. We know what we're doing here. We know what we're doing. Pro streamer. I always know what I'm doing. Speak with covenants, decide what you want to do. I know what I want to do. I want to go Night Fate because I need my garden back because you've stolen it and it's going to take me 5 days to get it again. God damn. Did they add anything beside bags? Are you worried that changes are still coming this late? Unfortunately, I've played World of Warcraft for so long now that virtually nothing that Blizzard does actually surprises me. I suppose worrying me is different to surprising me, I suppose. I'm concerned that we've not even had any... we've had not even a pre-patch date, and we are less than a month away from the supposed release of the expansion. That is slightly worrying. And it's worrying not because... It's not worrying because it's a big issue. It's worrying the fact that I know how Blizzard Activision works. And unfortunately, I feel that Blizzard Activision would rather release a game that is unfinished and broken than miss a deadline. Because if they were to delay the game, although there's some legal stipulations that the game is... If you pre-ordered the game, it says the game is going to come out at some point this year. It doesn't necessarily say when you pre-order the game that it's going to come out on October the 27th. But there's some sort of going to be ramifications for them, for anybody that's pre-ordered the game if they then delay it. You've got to remember that Blizzard Activision are a business. They have stock. They are on the stock market. They have shareholders. They are likely to not want to miss a deadline. If it went live as it is, how bad would it be for non-Jewel crafters? That's kind of specific. The Flight Master actually has a Flight Master logo now. Excellent. It would... I'm not necessarily sure why specifically non-Jewel crafters, but Jewel crafting is... Well, we'll see. What we have to do today, there's 2, maybe 3 things we have to do today. We have to firstly, we've got to go through Wowhead, we've got to go through the news, I've got to make sure I'm up to speed with everything. I've had a little flick through it, but obviously I know about the bags. We'll talk about bags in a little bit. I need to go through, there's going to be a whole bunch of different changes. I want to get up to speed with those. Secondly, we need to make a bunch of characters so that we can go through the professions and quickly see if there's any obvious changes that are undocumented. Because of course, there's always undocumented changes. They're the main 2 things I want to make sure I get done today. On top of that, we can then start doing some... We'll do some threads of the fate leveling, I think, is what I plan to do later on in the stream. As we're now at a point where this is going to be much, much closer to what we'll see as a release. I'm imagining that this patch is actually, even though there doesn't feel to be many sort of patch notes with this release version. But what is going to have happened is behind the scenes, a lot of bug fixes are going to have been fixed, and hopefully things should run a lot smoother on the beta now. So I think it's going to be worthwhile to do some threads of fate leveling, see if there's any obvious changes there, see how the experience change, see if there is any experience changes that we notice. There's a bunch of stuff we need to do, but my first priority is getting my Night Fae garden back up and running, so I can get some materials I need to actually focus on the professions. So a company moon lady person thingy somewhere. Let's go. Go on then. Lead on. Oh, if it goes live as dual crafting is, yeah, that dual crafting, it's such an easy fix to dual crafting. The easy fix to dual crafting is very simple. It's just to remove or to heavily reduce the amount of essences that is needed to craft the legendaries. That's all that needs to happen. They can keep the prospecting rates exactly the same if they wish. But what really does need to happen is they need to reduce the amount of essences. If they do a combination of both, maybe reduce the amount of essences slightly, but increase the prospecting rates, fine. It's up to them how they do it. Something needs to change. What that something is, I'm sure Blizzard know what they're doing. Kneel before somebody. Kneel. Manthieus goes live. I like the video. They wipe all the characters. That's a good habit to get into. Just like, you know, just smash that like button instantly before you even see anything. I mean, there's 20 odd people here right now. If you all just smash the like button right now, it would be an incredible day. Did they wipe all the characters? Yes, they did. All of the characters are gone. There was a very obvious reason why Blizzard were doing it, and I was expecting it to come sooner rather than later anyway. The process of creating characters that are automatically level 60, and the fact that they had then changed so much of the questing over the last month or so has meant that people were encountering like huge amounts of bugs that were only bugs because the way that their character was created. So Blizzard decide, wipe everything, clean slate, you have to recreate your characters, and it should be a much smoother process for a lot of people. For example, one of my previous level 60 characters had no access to conduits at all. Just simply didn't have access to them for no real reason. Okay, button mashed. Good job. That's what we like to see. Now, which one do I need to do to actually... Let's do what is considered the campaign. Go. I wonder if we'll actually start getting cutscenes as well. Or at least cutscenes, well, obviously not. Maybe we get the cutscenes without the big red cross on them as well. Do I have to do this whole theatre business, or can I just, you know, get cracking straight away? Pick up the quests at the very least. So you're going to want me to... Ah, this is interesting as well. To my understanding, there's going to be no renown skips anymore. Meaning you might actually have to play the character like it's a real character. Okay, yeah, I can't do any of this business until I've completed a few more of the quests, apparently. I've got my Night Fae ability though, so we can zoom around as a wolf. Well, there is still the test resource dude, so what's he going to offer us still? Can you give me some anima? Can you give me lots of anima? Can you give me all of the willing souls? Can you recruit me a selection of souls? Can you recruit me all of the adventurers? Can you grant me some honor points? Oh, okay, so it still looks like at least the test resource vendor is doing his job properly, which means we can get rid of some of this crappy gear. Good morning, Manthieus, my new favourite streamer. Well, I can't turn away a compliment like that. Thank you very much. So, find Featherlight at the Star Lake Amphitheatre. Where is this when it's it says it's down. No, it's this one. Where are we going? We're going outside. Let's go outside. Run, run, run. Methinks I should probably have changed my gear. I should have put some PvP gear on. But hey ho. Let's get these introduction requests out of the way, just so I can get my garden up and running. It's obviously, the garden is something that's time gated, so my highest priority is getting my garden back up and running as quick as possible, as it was my source of materials. How do we get to this place? I remember it being a bit of a weird one. I always end up going the wrong way. There we go. This is good. This is good. I guess one thing that is something we should probably look at, if not today, in the very near future, is how the new bags affect the leveling of tailoring. I think the new bags are both acquired through just leveling up the profession. Although I do feel I had a quick glimpse at the material requirements. I expect them to change. Reenact the third invasion, yes. Yes, I very specifically, or I've got strong opinions on the fact that the actual materials for the bags might change, because they seem really cheap, like ridiculously cheap. Manthieus has been watching a load of your videos and noticed you recommended a jewel gathering, druid, herbing and mining. I understand that herbing with flight form, but why mining as you drop flight form? It's simple. You're killing two birds with one stone. If you're trading in your time to gather materials, then you might as well be gathering twice the amount of materials. If you have mining and herbalism on separate characters, it means you arguably have to trade double the amount of time to get resources. And for the most part, farming is one of the least optimal ways to spend your time when it comes to gold making. So it's considered optimal to have both herbalism and mining on the same character. Now I know it's not strictly like cutting the time in half, because of course you still have to go to the ore nodes, you still have to go to the herb nodes. But in terms, especially when you're on foot, the fact that you're running around, it may take you 20 minutes to do a lap. In that 20 minutes, you'll get considerably more materials if you're a herbalist and a miner than you would if you were just a miner or just a herbalist. Do you have the garden, like, even if you pick another covenant? No, unfortunately not. The garden is strictly a Night Fae only. It's the main sort of feature that Night Fae have. What we are going to do in the next few days as well is spend a bit more time looking at the other covenants. As I've very heavily focused on the Night Fae because of the garden. But the other covenants do offer some flavourful stuff. Not to any same degree. I mean, you can get a few pets and things like that from the other ones, but the main it's very much looking like the main covenant for sort of on your alts, max level alts. I should point out, on your max level alts, the Night Fae covenant is a solid one to get you a nice steady supply of materials. Yes, the garden is a level 60 feature. When you're leveling, you don't have access to the maul, so you don't have access to the souls. That are you need anima and you need souls to to build up your Covenant's buildings as such. The Queen's Conservatory being one of, or the main building. And you need access to the Moor to get the souls to be able to do that, and the Moor is a level 60 zone, so. One thing I will say is the Night Fae Garden is never going to provide you with enough materials to make you rich. It is literally going to drip feed you materials, but you can't. You can to a degree, but you can't solely focus on just herbs or just ore. You will always get a variety of materials. You might get fish, you might get leather, you might get meat, you might get enchanting materials. There's no real way to heavily focus on one rather than the other. So it's more of a, it's like garrisons in a fact that you get a little bit of everything, but it's only a small amount. It's never going to be enough materials to like even fund a single profession, and they're probably going to balance it such. So if you need a lot of herbs because you're an alchemist, you're not going to be able to rely solely on your Night Fae Garden to get you all of the herbs that you need. This table shows what Covenant is good for every spec. Which table is this then? Maybe you tried to post a link and Nightbot swatted you or something, I don't know. I think you can post links in my chat, I'm not sure. Oh, I meant to be handing in the quests, that's why.
Time for the next act. Alright, you have my attention. Carry on.
Yeah, if it's an alt that's max level and you don't really necessarily want to play it at anything overly competitive, it's the Covenant that's going to give you it's going to drip feed you a small amount of materials every day, which you can either use in your professions or throw up on the auction house for a little bit of gold. If you just posted a link, there's a likelihood that it didn't go through. I think I have all links set to approve only, which is probably why it didn't post. Place a wall. Which wall am I placing? Any craftable mounts? There's not any craftable mounts so far. There's not even any world drop mounts. Most of the new mounts, at least that we know of so far, are going to come from either doing they don't directly drop from rare creatures out in the world, but there's often sort of like mini games that you can do that will get you a mount or such. For example, I know I really butchered the explanation of that, but for example, in Ardenweald, for example, down in one of the corners there's like a maze, and if you work your way through the maze in the correct path, you can then engage a mob at the end, and if you kill it, then you get a mount, that sort of thing. But you can't engage it unless you go through the maze in the right way. So there's a few different things like that. There's different ways to get mounts. There's going to be a lot of new mounts to collect, just not anything that's really attractive to gold makers in terms of just like refarming it and selling it. I've got wings and a big old sword, look. Boom.
But as the Titans were imprisoning Sargeras, he plunged his sword into the heart of Azeroth. Fortunately, he didn't hit any major population centers.
Next costume.
Next costume. What's the next costume? I enjoyed my big old sword. Is it just me or is my game still running like a dog? Yeah. When I stream I get 40-50 FPS in Ardenweld. The zone is so twinkly and sparkly that like it just completely destroys my FPS. Any other zone, 60 FPS, easy. When I'm not streaming I can get 144 FPS in every other zone quite comfortably. I come to Ardenweld and like the frame rate just tanks. Time to invest in a new graphics card soon, methinks.
May I have your name? Try not to die up there.
That's sad, a huge income. Gonna get down. Well, I mean, yeah, some people made a reasonable amount of gold from simply just 2x4 farming. Every 10 hours or so, they were lucky that they would get themselves a mount and slowly but surely sell them on the AH, make some gold that way. Yes, we have new bags. We will do some exploring of the bag situation in a little while. Oh, I need to remove my costume. Okay, there's me waiting for something to happen. And it's me that's meant to be doing something. Remove costume. Yes, so boys and girls, today's stream is going to be a little bit of a let's call it a maintenance stream. We're going to be creating a whole bunch of new characters. We're going to ultimately be doing a bunch of introduction request lines to get things back up to speed, since we have had all of our characters stolen. Do you think I'll be able to get rid of 800 deep sea bags at launch? Easy. Easy. Even with the 2 new bags. There's what you got to remember is that even if the materials look kind of cheap, deep sea satin is cheaper. that's the end, and that's the result of it, really. The 2 new bags are going to use the new materials, and for a while those new materials are going to be expensive enough to make deep sea bags still the cheapest option. Will they continue to be the cheapest option long term? No, probably not. But I'm kind of the opinion that the current content should always be, or the crafted items from the current content should arguably always be more valuable than what was previously available. It is a bit of a kick in the teeth to anybody that's farmed out a whole bunch of what were they, hydrocores that are needed for the 32 slot bags, but you win some, you lose some, unfortunately. By the way, are material all the same on all 4 covenants or distributed on zones? I really don't understand what you're trying to ask. Each zone in the game, Revendreth, Moldraxxus, Bastion and Ardenweld, they each have their own covenant. But I'm not sure what you mean in relation to materials. Yeah, for those that are I mean, I don't think this bag thing is a complete kick in the teeth to anybody that's got a whole bunch of deep sea satin saved up for the purpose of crafting it into bags. I mean, with a new expansion and the fact that we've had this entire leveling revamp, there are a lot of people that instead of leveling their current characters up to 60, they will actually just go back to the beginning and level brand new characters. So because of the level squish, bags are likely to sell even better than what they did when we went into BFA. Because there was very little incentive for people to like create new characters when we left Legion and went into BFA. Most people at the end of Legion had an army of 110 characters, simply because it was very profitable to do so because of the mission tables. Having lots of characters maxed out by the end of Legion meant that nobody really had that incentive to level new characters when we hit BFA, but bags still sold incredibly well. Anybody making a new character, anybody switching their main class is likely to make a new character. Bags will always sell. And don't forget, pre-patch is going to bring in the leveling change, which means pre-patch also is a time where people will start creating new characters, leveling new characters, and it's at that point you can sell most of your stock of deep sea satin bags, I'd imagine, because they don't have access to the new Shadowlands bags yet they're still going to want them to level their new characters. So the response on on Reddit was quite interesting to read, how many people were seemingly losing their minds that all of a sudden their Garrison Hexweave bags from 3 expansions ago now are now not going to sell as well. And I can't believe that Hexweave bags still sell as well as they do to this day. I genuinely only believe that Garrison's Hexweave bags sell as well as they do purely because they're epic. There's no other logical reason why they would sell. I mean, there is a node you can mine in all 4 zones or just one of them. Oh, well then, yeah, there is zone-specific ore and zone-specific herbs as well. So for example, if you're a herbalist and a miner and you're running around Bastion, you'll pick up Death Blossom herbs because that's the default herb that's available everywhere. You'll pick up Rising Glory because that is the zone-specific herb to Bastion. You'll pick up the Leystrite ore, which is the default ore for all of the zones. You'll also pick up what's the zone specific ore to Bastion. Zone specific ore to Bastion is, it's not Phaedrum, it's not Sinvir. Well, anyway, there's a zone specific ore for Bastion that I can't remember off the top of my head, and then you've got the 2 rare. So you've got Nightshade, which is the rare herb, and you've got Lithium ore, which is the rare ore, but they can be found everywhere. They look nicer, that's the only reason I have them. Well, yeah, I mean, I never thought that there would be people would buy bags for arguably 10 times the price just because they're purple and just because they look nicer than a deep sea bag. Seemed a bit crazy to me, but apparently that's the way it works. Ah, maybe I should go talk to you, Sarah. That's what I'm meant to be doing. 90% profit though, since I have lots of fur from the WOD days. Even selling them at 500 gold. Yeah, I just can't believe people can sell bags from 2 expansions ago with less slots for such a high price. But this is the thing that I love about World of Warcraft, is that as logical as you can sometimes be when it comes to like what you think will sell and what you think won't sell, you would be amazed at some of the stuff that sells. I'm trying to fly with you, Sarah, but you won't let me. Like you can never fully predict the logic or the lack of logic that people have when it comes to buying things on the auction house. Does it mean that any profession is tied by the covenants? Not necessarily. The professions, yes, of course, have their own reputations, and there are cases where you need to grind those reputations to get certain patterns with professions, but you still have access to reputation with all of the factions, regardless of whether you're part of that covenant or not.
Slumber has ended. I am bound to both the dream and the moonless.
Is the relic vendor flipping thing still alive, or did they touch on that as well? Personally, not checked if they've done anything with that. As far as I'm aware, it's still a thing. Interestingly though, the longer it's taking for pre-patch to come out, the more and more people are getting bored with trying to buy Runecloth, which is funny. There's a lot of people that are farming Runecloth and they're getting annoyed because they're not selling it, which is actually meaning the price of Runecloth went up to about 5 gold on most servers, and it's come back down again to about 1.5 gold to 2 gold. It's really quite interesting to see. They're not fewer slots. They're still. I suppose if there's still 30. Yeah, I suppose they're still 30 slot bags, aren't they? Hex week. Why can I not fly with you, Sarah? Have we already encountered our first bug? Let's do a reload. I would love to fly with you, but I can't. Okay, let's do some weird stuff that sometimes works, like dismissing your pet. So much for this being a smoother experience now that we've had a reset. GG Blizz, GG. Well, a reload didn't fix it. Let's try a log out. Hard reset. Same things happen to rugged leather. Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. Like, it definitely has something to do with content creators talking about it. The more content creators talk about something, the more it's in the mindset of people. And since that pre-patch is just being delayed and delayed and delayed, and we still haven't got pre-patch, it's been like people expected to have had pre-patch now for almost a week or so. Some people thought that pre-patch was going to come out on, like, what was it, the 23rd of September. So there's in a lot of people's minds, we should have already had the pre-patch for a couple of weeks now. This relic of the past business is probably should have been and gone. The fact that it's taken this extra time, people have like bought a bunch of Runecloth, they're running out of gold, they don't want to invest anymore. They're holding on to their stockpile tightly and just waiting, but it does mean that they're not like buying any more.
My long slumber has ended.
Okay, what if we now abandon it, try and take the quest again.
Bound to both the dream and the moonless night.
Travel with you, Sarah, back to the Heart Tree. You'll gain the Wild Spirits, World Quest, the Covenant Callings, and a Renowned.
Night embrace. My long slumber has ended. I am bound to both the dream and the moonless night.
Still, can I jump on your back, you, Sarah? Maybe if I just run there myself. Let's see what happens if I just run there myself.
I am bound to both the dream and the moonless night. My long slumber has ended.
Or Queen and Grove. Sarah is being mean and won't let me ride her. Boo. Okay. Let's just take a stroll back then. If we can't ride on her back, maybe it will still trigger the event even still. The speed gem got a buff. Did it now? We are going to have to take a look at all of the professions in turn, I think, today. We'll maybe do a second little 5-minute overview of each profession. He's not in the mood, bruh. She's probably got a headache. Am I still going to get No, it's still gonna be a dick. Well, what if we try and do the covenants?
Interesting. Yes, you did.
Rescue souls in the Maw, you're going to get your Emblem of Renown and you're going to get redeemed souls. Sure, I have to do some more business as well. I really only want to get the garden up and running. That's really the only reason I'm trying to do this. Ysera's being a dick. I can talk to you. Are you going to let me do stuff though? Nope. Come on, Ysera, this is not funny. There's another quest over here somewhere. Where is it gone? What's this one? Oh, I think this is the weekly quest. Or it's what will be the weekly quest once you've done it once. Silk shortage. Find somebody in the Gossamer Hills, yeah. Oh, Ysera, you've annoyed me now. What happens if I abandon it? It just then puts it back on my map as telling me that I should get my ass over here and continue the campaign. God damn game. I guess this is beta for you. Stuff breaks and you've got no way of fixing it. So maybe we're going to not be able to get our garden up and running very quickly. Let's try again. Maybe zoning out, zoning back in again might help. So tell me more about this speed buff to the speed gem. I'm intrigued. I will go through Wowhead in a minute. I really wanted to get my my garden like cooking because it takes time to upgrade. I wanted to get that cooking first, and then we're going to go through the patch notes and the changes. And after that, we will look through the professions. Travel with Ysera. I want to. She changes form, but I can't click on her to do anything. She don't want to play game. Nothing I can do. Nothing I can do.
I am bound to both the dream and the moonless night.
I accept the crest, run out the zone, run back in maybe. Wait till I see her phase out. It's phased out. Let's phase back in. And still can't click on her.
I am bound to both the dream
Up a derp. Oh well.
my long slumber has
What if we do a full client reset? Let's go with that one. Let's try everything. Keep your fingers crossed, boys and girls. Fingers crossed. I don't even think I've got any add-ons even switched on, which could be affecting it. I think Ysera is just not in the mood to play. Check the add-ons. Yeah, I've genuinely not even got any add-ons on. Derp. It used to give 12 speed at level 51 to 60, but only 4 speed at 50. Now it gives 13 speed at 51 to 60 and 5 speed at 50. It's only a very slight change, but that's a slight change is still a good change. Okay, well, I guess if you said it was going to be a pain in the ass, we will come back to this later. It's a bit of a shame because I can't actually get my Covenant ability or anything. I've even tried restarting the quest. I've abandoned the quest. You abandon the quest, it tells you to come back here, talk to her, set the quest. Nothing. Can't get on her. She don't want to play. It's not because I'm mounted myself. Dismount. Still can't get on her. Derp. Bust. Bug reported. We'll come back to it in a bit. I guess then we will... Let's take a quick look at Wowhead then for a while. Let's get up to speed with some of these changes. Oh, there's a bunch of you still using... Oh, well, I'll try and update this today, potentially as well. Let's have a look. Where are we at? So let's start from the bottom. Let's start with anything that I haven't seen. Holy smoke, there's a lot. Next page even? Shadowlands beta build, new pet icons. We've seen these ones. What's this one? New pet icons, bunch of pets. Okay, sure. Factions. Aha, there's changes even in this. The Wild Hunt. Called to serve the Winter Queen in times of dire need, the Wild Hunt assembles the finest huntress and hunters in all of Ardenweald. In the face of drought and peril, the Wild Hunt stands ready to defend the forest. The Wild Hunt... which has now been just called the Night Fae. Oh, okay. Interesting. Sure. Is that represented in game already? No, because I've not got any reputation with them because I can't complete the goddamn quest. Sure. Of course. Class changes, not super interested in class changes. Map changes, yeah, not really. Character tiles, new title, character title, sorry. Scenarios, Torghast has had some changes. You guys can't really see half of this either, can you? Let's get rid of the advert. We don't need to see the advert and bring that there. Torghast, bunch of changes. I don't even think I've done any Torghast ones on stream either. LFG dungeons. This is all Torghast. Hang on, you can run Torghast is part of the LFG? Oh dear. Random text, follower encounters, Swift Skymain, Copperfur Lurker, Ashghoul, sure. Mounts, what's the changes to the mounts? Oh, literally wording changes, not anything great there. Global strings. New Covenant Sanctum feature Night Fae, the Queen's Conservatory. Okay, sure. These are just like grammatical changes for the most part. Follower changes, spell changes. What have we got here? Questline changes. Covenant Hall intro for the Queen and Grove. Hang on, they've changed something with this quest. Look, literally the quest I'm stuck on right now, they have changed something for, but it doesn't say what they've changed. It just says something is new about this quest. That could have some reason to why it's bust. Whatever it is, whatever they've... I was reading the ad. Oh dear, well shame. Whatever they've changed with this quest, they've broke it rather than fixed it. So, oh look, there's another one for Queen and Grove. They've changed a bunch of stuff with these and they've broken them. GG. Yeah, just grammatical changes. Renowned rewards. Level 20, you get the Kyrian Hearthstone. You get Pet once you get to Renown level 20 with the Necrolords. You get Ruffle once you get level 20 with Kyrian. So there's some reasons to level these up. Also reason, if you're a collector, good reasons to have characters in all of the different covenants eventually. If your collectors wants to get access to all of these pets. Harmonious Wings of the Ascended, transmog item, Light Nodes changes, and that was that one. That was nothing too significant. Let's now take a look at what's next. Farm Slayer of Manthieus, added title in this build. I smell some Torghast boost sellers. Boost sellers will try and sell you anything, literally anything. They're even selling like profession boosts and all sorts of crazy things. If they can take money or gold off you, they will do so. Oh, that literally was. Why was that? Why did that need an entire article? Literally one sentence. Come on, Wowhead. We can do better than this. Does enchanting offer any personal benefit like alchemy does, e.g. the 2-hour flask and trinket? Well, short of being able to craft your own enchants. There's not anything that is solely... There's not anything that you have to be an enchanter for. No. Mining was buffed. We got a lot of testing to do today. We need to go back to page 1 now, I think. What have we got? Let's talk bags for a minute. Everybody wants to. I know everybody wants to. Let's talk bags. So, new 30 and 32 slot crafted bags from Shadowlands tailoring. Blizzard has added recipes for 30 and 32 slot bags to tailors in the latest Shadowlands build. Shrouded cloth bag, 30 slots. Learnt at the trainer at Shadowlands tailoring 15. That's really early on. And requires 20 shrouded cloth and 15 thread. That leaves me to believe that we're not going to craft these during leveling. I still think that this early on we're going to be crafting bandages. I think, or did bandages go grey at 15? You know what we can do? We can be really clever about this and we can check my own video, can't we? This is why I do this. Because then I have video. I don't need to remember things when I have everything on video. Okay, tailoring. Let's do this. Tailoring I think is going to be quite easy. Hopefully I've farmed up enough materials to get from 1 to 101. Hearing myself is weird. So what did we do for the first few crafts in tailoring? It was bandages for a big amount of time. How long did we do bandages for? We did bandages up until 11, 14. Bandages went green at 15. Then what did we switch to? We switched to crafting gear that was only using like 4 shrouded cloth. 4 or 6 shrouded cloth. So although we will pick up bags at 15, it's not going to change the leveling of tailoring in any way. When do we pick up the next bag then? 32 slot bag, trained by Stitcher at 65, requires 15 lightless silk and a bunch more thread. Okay, so that might actually have some changing. Although 15 lightless silk is going to be expensive. So once again, I don't think these new bags are going to change the way that you're going to level tailoring. I think it's just something you'll go back to and craft some of. Now nodes now drop more partial ores. All right, well we can run around. We can do some gathering at some point. We can do some more testing of that. What would you think the price is if you want to buy everything for a legendary all 4 weeks? Do you only need some kind of recipe for a specific okay, there's no real easy way to answer that, because the cost of crafting the legendaries is wildly different depending on A, what class you are, so what armor type you wear, and B, what slot that you plan to fill. A 30-second overview for crafting the legendaries is if you buy a base one in week 1, if you would then need to buy a rank 2, a rank 3 or a rank 4 to upgrade it eventually. You need a legendary power to put onto the base legendary. Those legendary powers can come from multiple different places, so which once again depends on your class. It's nearly impossible for me to answer that question in much more detail, really. Bags at 15 might offer higher profit than the crafted gear, offsetting the higher cloth requirements if they are cheaper than old world 30 slot bags. Yes, like with virtually anything within the professions, if you know for a fact that investing your materials into crafting this means that you will then sell it and make more profit from it, then sure, absolutely. But most of the time I try and structure the guides to require as little materials as possible to level up. Because of course at the beginning of an expansion materials are expensive, so it helps keep the cost down. If you wish to diversify, then sure, absolutely go ahead. But a more optimal way to level would be to not craft the bags, would be still to craft the green gear. Because the argument still stands, you could actually still be selling the green gear as well. These are the first crafted tailoring bags we've seen in Shadowlands. Previously we data mined Papa's mint condition bag, which comes from the pre-patch event, but this is a unique bag. It's a 34 slot bag, but you can only hold one of them. There is also a portable pocket dimension, which is also unique, meaning you can only have one of them, which is the 32 slot bag from the new raid. And there's the extra spacious knapsack, which interestingly has the same icon by the looks of things as... yeah, it appears to have the same icon as the lightless silk pouch, lightless silk pouch, but that may change, which is a 30 slot bag that you get from Refer a Friend. But these two bags is not going to... it's nice that we're going to have bags. At least initially they're going to be more expensive to craft than deep sea bags. So if you've got a whole bunch of deep sea satin, a whole bunch of tide spray linen sat aside ready to craft bags out of, don't panic, you'll still be able to sell those bags and make a profit quite comfortably. These new bags are just a long-term bonus. It's not really going to change anything so much at the beginning. Don't think at the start of Shadowlands you'll be able to make gold off bags because the mats will have a high price. The new bags, maybe not so much, but there is equally the argument that because they're new, they will still sell. If you craft them and you put them on the auction house for more than it costs you to craft them, you will sell them. It's the beginning of an expansion, things go a bit crazy. I want to see what's the comments for this though. The comments is going to make me laugh with this. What's the point when other 30-32 slot bags exist? I don't understand why they don't just give us bigger bags. Because honestly, bag space is bag space is ridiculous as it is already. I mean, you can have 4 32 slot bags on. 137 empty slots. How much bag space do we have in total? I mean, this is a ridiculous amount of inventory space. The argument stands that we're going to actually be carrying around less pieces of gear with us. because we're not, or at least the theory is that we're not going to have like 3 different sets of gear with us all the time, because we're not going to have different Azerite traits and stuff. I'm sure people will still carry a load, but the inventory space that we have now is more than sufficient. Somebody laughs in Hexweave bag. Yeah. People are just complaining that the bags aren't going to be bigger. It's a pretty big bag though, 32 slot bag, and it is much cheaper to craft than BFA's one that requires dungeon farming. Expect all bag prices to plummet. This guy's got no idea. Point is new players or alts. Exactly. Don't think we need bigger bags every expansion. Totally agree. Honestly, what's the point of this? It's so taxing. Is it so taxing to consider giving us big bags? Disappointing. I bet this guy doesn't even have 32 slot bags in the first place. What's the point? Either 34 or 36 or nerf the BFA ones. Wow, this is why I don't read comments, because people are just... People get so butthurt. It's incredible. If you have 100,000 Tide Spray linen in your mailbox, then 500 plus bag slots would be nice. Well, I guess there is some use to having significantly larger quantities, but they're few and far between for most players. Bag size has to stop somewhere. There's not a lot of things we need to carry with us. 32 times 4 plus the 16 to 20 slots is almost 150 items. Yeah. Oh my god, and somebody's really gone to town with full essays here. This is incredible. The reason is likely due to UI limitations. No, not really. You just slap another bag slot. It's not an issue. Okay, people are losing their minds over this. This is quite amusing. Alright, well, we've done bags now. We've done bags. I think we've got a solid grasp on bags. There are new bags. Whoop whoop. They're going to be more expensive than deep sea satin bags. They're going to be cheaper than. They're likely going to be cheaper than embroidered deep sea bags. But I mean that's one category. Bags just sell ridiculously well anyway. It's really not a problem. Bag prices are already down. I bought deep sea satin bags for 100 gold each recently. Yeah, on the average server, a deep sea bag right now is less than 100 gold. It shouldn't be more than 100 gold realistically right now. I think a deep sea bag requires, what is it? It's like, it's 30 deep sea satin and then some Tide Spray linen. Between 100 to 150 gold is the expected price for a deep sea bag nowadays. If relics stay as they are, deep sea bags at 30 can't get that cheap. I suppose, yeah, if the relic thing has its way, because a relic 5 can be crafted from 7 pieces of deep sea satin, which then when you add it to brown leather pants gets you 50 gold. You're talking then it's about I think quick maths off the top of my head, about 4.5 gold is the minimum price really for a piece of deep sea satin then. Before it any cheaper than that, and you can just start crafting and vendoring. So if you say, even worst case scenario, you say 4 gold for each piece of deep sea satin and it requires 30 to make a bag, you're looking at a minimum 120 gold per bag. Should kind of be the bottom level. They're cheaper than that now, but there's like six or in the EU, for example, there is over 7 million deep sea satin listed on the auction house, across all the servers, that is. But yeah, between 4 to 5 gold seems about right for the sort of the price floor. the deep sea satin. And just doing some quick simple maths, about 130 to 150 gold is about the minimum price that a deep sea bag will sell for, which means that when we have, I said we were done with bags, didn't we? And I just continued on, but that then means that 20 shrouded cloth, even if shrouded cloth drops to 10 gold a piece, that's still going to be 200 gold. So arguably deep sea satin bags are still going to be slightly cheaper than shrouded cloth bags, unless shrouded cloth gets below like 7 or 8 gold a piece, which it's not likely to do very quickly, simply because of the quantities of it that are needed to rank up the legendaries. The lightless silk pouch is a bit of a new one though. It depends, considering 15 lightless silk is really not that much. That's really not a lot. If you spend an hour farming, for example, I reckon in an hour you can probably get close to 1,000 shrouded cloth and probably 150 to 200 lightless silk if you really know what you're doing. So then when the 2x4 farms come up and you are just mass killing stuff, for example, when people are over in Revendreth, I've now got no map even. When people are over in Revendreth and they're doing their rep farm in the Halls of Atonement, I think it's called, this area on the map here, when people are doing the 2x4s here, which will happen, guarantee, people will be getting thousands of cloth really quickly. Sarah won't let me talk to her yet. And where are we at? And can I craft a legendary the same day I hit 60? In theory. In theory, yes. In theory, yes. It's theoretical because you need to hit 60, you need to get into Torghast, you need to do your Torghast runs to get the Soul Ash, and you're then going to need the materials to level up your profession. You're then going to need the materials to craft the legendary. You're then also going to need to get the legendary power, and you're going to need a scribe to get you the missives. It's theoretical. Theoretically, it's possible. It's going to be tough to do it, but people will. But nobody will search for pouch, so they will look for bags. Possibly. That's a possibility. Yeah, that, considering it's called a lightless silk pouch rather than bag. Yeah, that's probably quite true. My local pizza shop has already got my order for when Shadowland drops. because every good goal maker has their local pizza shop on speed dial. Boom. Okay, but that's bags done. Absolutely, definitely. We're done with bags. Let's focus on something else. Let's go next in the queue. What have we got here? New post on Death Knight feedback about the Abomination Limb and Shackle of the Unworthy. I genuinely don't know what any of this is because I don't play Death Knights, but let's see. Abomination Limb has been target capped at 5 and its damage increased by 15. Buff. Grip has also been updated to only pull the same targets every 4 seconds. This change was made to prevent it from encouraging the Death Knight to repeatedly walk out of range and then pull the same target. Okay, very specific Death Knight stuff. Shadowland Warrior changes. Mass Spell Reflect now only affects 1 ally. Sure, this is probably a 2-line post again. Yep. Spell Reflect has changed for warriors. Blizzard announces Covenant tuning is underway on the Shadowlands beta. Well, I'd hope so. It's kind of why the beta's there, right? Blizzard have announced that they are actively in the process of rebalancing Covenant abilities. We have data mined many of these changes, including the one to the Death Knight Necrolord ability. In today's build of the Shadowlands beta, testers will see a snapshot of the process of tuning several Shadowlands systems, which is underway. We're in the midst of recalibrating the throughput of several abilities, and while in some cases the magnitude of the scale of the change may feel large, it's necessary to bring outlier abilities in line with our targets so that players can make more accurate comparisons between their abilities. Sure. What have we got next? Outlaw Rogue changes. Shadowlands Covenant set items with set bonuses. Set bonuses are coming back. What's this? The armor that you acquire from completing the Covenant campaign now has 3, 5 and 8 piece set bonuses. These bonuses focus on out of combat regen, buffing your signature ability and increasing stats. Well, that's quite cool. So Kyrian set, Soul Replenishment increases your out of combat regeneration while outdoors in the Shadowlands. While in your Covenant's realm, the regeneration is increased. Serenity Blessing, Vial of Serenity gives 70 primary stat for 30 seconds with a cleanse on it as well. In Aspirant's Touch, your spells and abilities have a chance to cause your target to erupt in light, dealing arcane damage. Once you have an entire 8 piece, damn. But you've got to complete chapter 7, the campaign. Oh, I must admit, I'm not a transmog person, but the Kyrian transmog does look pretty tasty. It looks pretty tasty, considering I'm a hunter main, so of course my focus is on the male sets. It does look pretty good. What do Necrolord Covenant sets get? Is it going to be the same? Is it simply just going to be out of combat for 3 piece? While Fleshcraft is active, you gain 100 primary stat. Killing an enemy okay, so the 8 piece seems to have a bit more flavour to it. Killing an enemy reduces Fleshcraft's cooldown by 3 seconds and your critical strike by 35. Stacking up to 5 times though. It's not bad. Let's look at the whoa, the cloth set. These tentacle businesses that's going on with the cloth set looks nice. I definitely dig that. Leather looks a bit weird. You've got like, this is my special hand coming out the side of your shoulder. That's a bit odd. Male set, what do we think? Male set's looking alright. It looks a bit like a mishmash set, to be honest. It doesn't look as if it all sort of flows nicely. I think the pants could be different. There'll be no corruption gear, no Warforged or Azerite gear. Negative Nelly in the comments on Wowhead saw it this morning and was like, whatever Blizz give, they just bash it to the ground. Just for reason, give me more and more and more for free, no limit. Yeah, that's often the way. This is why I avoid the comment section of virtually everything. I do read all of the comments on my own videos though. As you know, I'm pretty active at reading the chat. But when it comes to when it comes to like forum posts, a lot of the time, I mean, I cringe so hard a lot of the time when I read Reddit. It is quite funny. Necrolord plate is looking pretty nice. The Covenant set's looking kind of cool. I'm really digging the big old horns. That's pretty sweet. Night Fae Covenant sets, which unfortunately, not out of choice, is arguably what I'm going to have to be. Out of combat, soul shape duration increased by 4 seconds. Flicker grants of short speed while outdoors, sure. Your spells and abilities have a low chance to summon a Fey Guardian to protect you for 30 seconds, increasing your stat by 60. Increasing your primary stat by 60 while alive, because it doesn't matter if you're dead. And periodically healing 5 nearby oh my god. Oh dear god. Multi-boxers rejoice. Multi-boxers rejoice. My multi-boxed hunters, yes, they're going to be Night Fae. Because this is OP as all hell for multi-boxers. Imagine you're 8 boxing, you're running around with 8 hunters or 8 druids even, either or. You then have a chance that you're then basically almost always going to have at least one guardian out and about, and the fact that it's going to be healing all of your other characters, which means you can just potato a bunch of dudes around and they can all self-heal themselves. Yeah, this is multi-box heaven right here. This is why multi-boxing druids almost always have what is it called? Resto Affliction. Is it Resto Affliction? I can't remember. Whatever the talent row is, you select Restoration because it gives you the passive heal when you're fully health. Yeah, this is multi-box heaven right here. But of course it means you have to get to end of chapter 7. Let's look at the gear sets then. Cloth wearers have got these weird and wonderful horns on them again. They've really gone big on horns this time. Leather, not digging it if I'm honest. Oh no, my hunters are going to be running around wearing a dress. Oh no. Oh, it's going to look ridiculous. Affinity, that's the one I was looking for, not affliction. Affliction has negative connotations, doesn't it? Oh no. I'm gonna have to transmog out of this. I can't have hunters running around wearing dresses. That's ridiculous. Plate one's looking pretty cool though. Dig in the plate set. That fade from green up till blue. Dig in that. Okay. Take a quick look at the Manthieus ones. Arguably Manthieus have got the best transmog. Out of combat regen. Spells and abilities going to brand on your target, dealing 660 shadow damage over 6 seconds and healing you. Oh dear. This might even be... well, the problem is that multi-boxes are unlikely to be Manthieus. They're all going to want to be Night Fae because of the garden, but who knows. One with the shadows. While Door of Shadows is off cooldown, your primary stat is increased by 80 and its range is increased by 5. Much of a muchness. Cloth set's looking pretty badass. These red wings are seriously cool. Leather set. Something about it looks a bit weird. It looks like it should be the other way around. It looks like the gear should be red, where the underlying stuff should be like the grey. It looks like it looks like it's inverted for some reason. The mail set is kick-ass. I like that a lot. Yeah, the Manthieus and the plate one is pretty epic. Manthieus, I think, have the best transmog. The cloth Manthieus set is one of the best transmogs, I think, from a Covenant point of view. Plate Night Fae is pretty cool. This triggers some sort of nostalgia for me for some reason. It's like bone armor almost. Then I'd say, yeah, the Kyrian set's kind of cool as well. I was thinking if you need to get Manthieus rep to get the profession recipe, then is there some advantage to being Manthieus for crafters? Yeah, there is kind of logic to that. A lot of stuff within crafting is pushing you into Revendreth a lot of the time. considering Crafter's Mark II is required by most professions, and Crafter's Mark II is a farm out in Revendreth. You're likely, if you pick the Manthieus, you're going to spend a lot of time in Revendreth. You're likely to spend time gathering up these Sinstone fragments just passively. I don't know. I don't know if it's necessary to be Manthieus though, because anybody that wants Crafter's Mark II is going to farm up these Sinstones, but once they've got what they need, they then don't need to do it anymore, unless it just becomes a really good like cloth farm or something. So there's not much long life to this farm, because if you're specifically doing it to get a pattern, then once you've got the pattern, you don't need to do it anymore. Okay, well, Sarah doesn't want to do anything. I'm going to half back, I think. Okay, so that was some Covenant sets business. What else have we got? Malfunctioning Goliath Gauntlet, Thanos Snap reference in Shadowlands. In the latest build, an item referencing the Marvel villain character Thanos was added, the Malfunctioning Goliath Gauntlet, an item that when used instantly destroys half of the critters around you. That's funny. Snap the gauntlet's fingers, instantly destroying half of the critters within 40 yards, 1 minute cooldown. That's quite cool. My Death Knight is going to be the Plate Dracula dude for sure. Yeah. Yeah, Blood Death Knights are going to be all over Manthieus, whether it's better for them or not. I mean, this is literally just another 2-line. Battle for Azeroth Gladiator ensembles purchased with Marks of Honor in Shadowlands. Blizzard added the Transmog ensembles, I can't say that word very well, for BFA PvP Gladiator sets into the Shadowlands beta. These allow players to acquire the looks from previous PvP seasons and are always added in the expansion after the set was launched. Okay, just more transmog stuff. Aegis of Salvation, Shield's now transmog option. Okay. Dungeon tuning, Grievous massively nerfed, Sanguine Depths Covenant bonus buff. So dungeons have had some changes to them. We've not really tested the dungeons much on stream. I mean, I've ran the dungeons a couple of times, but I've not really focused on them much. Data mined conduit rank item levels, Mythic Castle, Nathria speculation to drop rank 7 conduits. Okay, power scaling I'm really concerned of is going to be absolutely bonkers. Hello, there we go. Shadowlands beta build has many class and spell changes, including some Covenant abilities which received a target capped change to the Death Knight Necrolord Covenant ability. Let's see, Death Knights have had the Abomination Limb, now granting a Bone Shield charge for Blood, Rime Frost, Runic Corruption for Unholy, but can only pull the same target once every 4 seconds. So that weird chain pulling thing that you saw Death Knights doing is no longer a thing. Druids have had Kindred Spirit and Ravenous Frenzy nerfed. I don't know what they were previously to know what the nerf is, unfortunately. Hunters have had Death Chakram and Wild Spirit nerfed. Oh, really? You've only just buffed it. How's it been nerfed now? Soulforged Ember. Launching a flare into your tar trap causes up to 5 enemies inside the tar trap to burn. It's just had a target cap placed on it of 5 enemies, okay. Just thought I would test a beta on my account. Just mounted Ysera first time without any bugs. Oh, good for you, mother. Okay, maybe it's my character. Maybe I'll log out and log back in again. We'll see. I'll give it another go in a minute. But it's good to know that it does at least work for some. Achievements, Shadowlands exploration. Shadowlands reputations. The Moor and Torghast. Not anything super relevant to us really. Ah, Chakram used to hit 7 targets. Have they dropped it to 5? Is that what the difference was? They seem to love this number 5. Throw a deadly chakram at your target that will rapidly deal 25% of attack power in shadow damage 7 times, bouncing to other targets. Still says it hits 7. Maybe the tooltip's not updated. Azurite essences, not a big issue. Soulbind, Covenant stuff. I'm looking specifically for profession stuff here, really. General Covenant abilities, general legendary item effects, Azurite powers, set bonuses. Are these new battle pets? Do we think these are new battle pets? This Blood Feast Spiderling, for example, is one of the pets you can get from the Queen's Conservatory. I know that for a fact. There's a lot of new pets in here, look. Oh, they're new mounts though. That's the big one. That's what everybody gets juicy over. Profession changes. Oh boy, oh boy. Right now, boys and girls, this is where it gets tasty. Let's close all of these down for now, and we'll work through them one by one. Because oh boy, right. Red Noggin Candle, Alchemy, new reagent required, distilled death extract. Red Noggin Candle, we still don't really know what it is. I think there's going to be a world quest and it's going to be a turn-in. That's all it is. Easy days. Blacksmiths. Oh, lots of changes, look. So, all of your leveling gear has now had the reagents. The amount of Leystrite ore needed has decreased in most cases. Virtually every item has had a decreased amount of Leystrite ore needed. So this is going to... who was that? WGB, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. I guess this is one way for them to, instead of increase the amount of stuff that you get from mining, if you decrease the amount of stuff that is needed, then it balances the same way. So virtually all of your leveling, the weapons, all of the gear has all had a reduction in Leystrite ore needed to craft them. From 8 to 6, from 6 to 5, from 9 to 6, from 10 to 7. There's some pretty significant, like as a percentage wise, there's some pretty significant, it's almost like a 30% reduction in some cases to the amount of ore that is needed, which if you think you're crafting multiple pieces of this gear, that's going to make quite a difference. And Relics of the Past. Drainic iron ore now requires Blackrock ore. Okay, that makes... Oh, and Luminous Flux is now needed to create Shadowghast Ingot. So it's the Shadowghast ingots still require the 4 specific zone ores, but they now also need 4 Luminous Flux. This is just a vendor item, no biggie there. So they're obviously thinking about balancing mining, which is nice. We'll get to mining in a minute. Take a look at enchanting. Holy shit, 113 changes to enchanting. So accord a critical strike. Enchant a ring to increase critical strike by 9. Cannot be applied to items above level 140. They're just putting item level restrictions in place on some of these. Okay. Opponent enchant weapon to increase healing. Cannot be applied to items above level 60. They've I love how they have to change things. Just literally putting a full stop at the end of the sentence. That's the detail they're going to now, apparently. Sure. I think they're just covering their back with these. Cannot be applied to items above level 60. The old boon of the scavenger enchant. So no longer can you sort of sneakily put a boon of the scavenger on your high-end gear. Yeah, they're just going back and they're just sort of capping out the old enchants and making sure that then none of them are significantly broken. And you see we're going all the way back to like Legion stuff here. None of this is surprising. It's just capping off the amount. Almost every single one of these is just capping the type of gear that it can be applied to. Nerf to Death Chakram is that it now hits for only 25% of attack power as opposed to 50. Oh, I mean that's literally a 50% damage decrease. That's a big change. I'm very quickly just scouring over these, as most of it seems to be simply just limiting. It does mean that BFA enchants can be applied to Shadowlands gear, but once your item level goes above 140, then it's a no-no. That's pretty much true to say for most of this. Yeah, so there was anything Shadowlands related. This was just all them going back over the old enchants and basically making sure nothing was broken because of the level squish. Let's look at engineering. Aha! Finally! They've now decided to get rid of some of the placeholder materials for the goggles. So we could now, in theory, complete engineering all the way up to 100 if we wanted to. Instead of these placeholder materials, they're simply going to require just a couple of gems. 2 gems are needed for each one. That's really no biggie. This is a big one actually, the porous polishing abrasive. I was very surprised by how much of the porous stone was needed to make this. We burnt through like 800 porous stone or something leveling engineering the other day. And it's now had like a huge, like from 5 to 3 doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're crafting hundreds of it at a time, that's a nice healthy reduction. But arguably porous stone is basically only needed by engineers anyway, so. And the worm-fed gear assembly now also needs a machinist's oil. That makes sense. I was kind of hoping that the worm-fed gear assembly would also, like, basically when we leveled engineering, we got like 40, maybe even 50 points from crafting worm-fed gear assemblies. It just felt super OP. Maybe they've also changed at what point the worm-fed gear assembly goes like orange or green or grey. Inscription changes. Fey Revel Mask just now needs sealing wax. They're just adding vendor materials to inscription. No changes there then. Jewel crafting. Okay, this is where things might get fun. New reagent required for a bunch of stuff being the malleable wire. This is just a jewel crafting vendor item. Removed the reagent Elysium settings and changed it to the lay strike setting. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Some people were saying that when they were trying to level up jewel crafting, they would hit like skill 50, and then they couldn't get Elysium settings because apparently they also removed them off the vendors. But if they're just going to use lay strike settings, which is just buy it from the vendor. Hey Samadan, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome, welcome. Looks interesting. Good to see them at least thinking about professions. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. It's nice to see that there is some focus on the professions. Because let's be honest, they definitely need it. The necklaces are now requiring some more of these vendor materials. A lot of this is just rejiggling the amount of vendor materials that are needed. Yes! Oh, they listened. They've literally done exactly what I suggested to do. Look, Shadowgas necklace reduces the amount of Shadowgas ingots that are needed from 25 down to 15, and the essences have been reduced from 50 down to 3. Look, that is a huge difference. I suggested that they go down from 50 to maybe 5. They've gone even further than that and reduced them down to 3. What does this mean though? This means that they're probably not going to change the prospecting rates in any way, shape or form. I still think they might need to buff it a little bit, because when you look at crafting the big old rank 4 Shadowgas necklaces, they're still requiring 12 essences, which is a lot. I mean, that is easily... I mean, that's you're easily looking at 10 to 12 stacks of ore, even at these reduced levels, just to get the essences to craft a single one. So we can do some spreadsheet adjusting in a minute. There's 2 things I need to do for jewel crafting though. I need to firstly work out how many you need to craft to get to the new ranks as well. Since finding out that they changed tailoring, because I was lucky, I had enough materials to physically change it, physically test it yesterday. I need to see if, because crafting 10 rank 1s and then 20 rank 2s and 20 rank 3s was just like crazy amounts of materials. Dude, the prospecting rates were abysmal, let's be real, still not worth it to jewel crafting. Well, if with these changes in place, it's the prospecting rates are fine. You get so much more ore from the rich nodes though, so I imagine there'll be a lot more ore than herbs. Yeah. I mean, since that you can go and you can swing your pickaxe at a rich Elysium node, for example, and you can comfortably get between 12 and even 20 pieces of ore from that. When you go and pick up a nightshade, though, you may get 1, 2, 3 if you're super lucky, which feels a bit weird. I do hope that's something that they change. But this is big. This is big that they've changed these. Ooh. What? Blizzard? What? I think Wowhead's getting confused here, you know. Look what they claim to be the change here. Removed reagent Essence of Suffering. New agent required, Essence of Suffering. No, it's not going to require a piece of mail that drops from the Devourer of Souls. Oh, Wowhead. You tried. Well, Essence of Rebirth down to 12. Essence of Suffering down to 12 for the rings as well. So it's good to see that they've made some big changes here. It was definitely needed. We will update our spreadsheet accordingly. Nightshade is going to be a bottleneck for scribes for sure. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you probably know full well from streaming the amount of people that are claiming that they're going to go inscription and they're going to go enchanting is just mind-blowing. If everybody decides to start crafting Dark Moon cards, we're going to run out of Nightshade. It's going to be quite interesting to see what happens. Okay, so apart from just a couple of simple vendor changes, the big change for Dawn crafting is in the amount of these essences that's required. I knew this had to change. I knew it being like 50, 60, 70 and 80 or whatever it was just ridiculous. What's going to be the big change though, if we look at the spreadsheet, where is it? Oh, it's here. We go to rings, for example. If we changed Shadowgast ingots, what did they change to? They changed from where's the Shadowgast rings? Changed from 25 down to 15. And the essences went to 3, was it, for each one? Which one are we looking at? We're looking at this one. Down from 50 to 3. Yeah. So you can see straight away the difference. Now that is more reasonable of a price, assuming based on the weird and wonderful prospecting rates. I'm assuming these essences are going to be about 1,000 gold a piece on the auction house. Potentially even more than this though. Dawn crafting, even with these changes, it's going to be expensive unless they change prospecting as well. But dropping these down, that feels a lot more of way more of a sensible price for a single rank 1. So let's do some adjusting for the rest of them then. For rank 2, it's gone down from 35 to 25. From 35 down to 25, and from 60 down to 6. And of course, still requiring 3 shards. Then it goes down from 45 to 35. 45 down to 35. And the essences have gone down from 70 to only 9. Okay. From 70 down to 9. But like I said, what we don't know is exactly how many of them we have to craft still. So this number's still not perfect. By the way, I saw your post on Reddit, WoW Economy, mind sharing the cloth farming spot and or the possibility to do a 2x4 for the cloth and the greens. Well, there's definitely going to be, obviously my map's grayed out because this is a new character, but what was it called? I think it's called Halls of Atonement. This area to the northeast of Revendreth is going to be a good spot for some 2x4 farming. You'll get yourself up. These mobs, you're going to kill them for 2 reasons. Well, for many reasons. They drop the Sinstone fragments, which is going to be a requirement for most crafters, because you need a whole bunch. You need reputation, and you need a whole bunch of Sinstone fragments to get Crafter's Mark rank 2. So people are going to want to be over here anyway. But they drop the Sinstone fragments, they drop greens, they drop gold, they drop cloth. 4 reasons to be over there farming. 2x4s will be in this zone here. If you check yesterday's VOD, we spent a bit of time over there doing some farming, testing out how we get the reputation with the Avowed, which is the mini faction in Revendreth. Okay, so we'll try our best to test this in the next couple of days to see if it's the same as tailoring. But for now, it's feeling much more sensible. That's what I'll say. Much more sensible. Wait, will there still be a rep grind for professions? Yeah, to a degree. If you want to absolutely 100% your professions, there's likely to be at least 1 reputation you're going to need to do a bit of grinding for. How am I liking Gathering so far? Loving Bastion, but hating Maldraxxus. I'm with you with Maldraxxus. Maldraxxus is just, yeah, it's horrible. I've only found, in Maldraxxus, I've found that you can go right round the edge if you really want to, and you can pick up a reasonable amount of herbs and ore. But for my gathering, I've found that the bit right in the centre, you can just basically run around the centre zone. And you don't actually have to encounter too many mobs, and there's still a reasonable amount of herbs and ore that you can pick up. And it's way less painful than going the outer route. A lap takes you maybe 15 minutes, so you're probably going to run out of things to pick up quite quickly, especially if there's competition. But yeah, Maldraxxus is a bit of a nightmare for gathering. Ardenweld, I've not done a huge amount of gathering in Ardenweld so far. There's lots of like up and down areas, which makes it a bit of a pain in the ass. But for skinning, oh, this place is absolutely killer because everything is a beast, and there's a couple of spots in Ardenweld that are just for skinning. Where have we not talked about Bastion? Bastion's real simple. Once again, you just follow the path and you run around in a big circle in the middle. It's pretty brain-numbingly boring. A Bastion though has the huge advantage of that just nothing attacks you. All of the mobs are like neutral to you, and even if they do attack you as a level 60, you just one-shot them anyway. So yeah, Bastion's going to be really good once you're capped, once you're 60. Bastion's pretty nice for gathering. Grinding out 1 rep is not that bad at all. I hated how bad BFA rep grinds was. Yeah, BFA had the difficulty that you also had the, what do you call them? You had the ranks in place, which was always a bit of a pain. But there's still going to be a little bit of rep grinding to maximise your professions, but you can get 90-95% of the patterns without even leveling your character. That's the weird thing. But let's get back to this then. We've looked through Jewel crafting. Jewel crafting, we will put jewel crafting slightly higher up on our list of things to dive in detail with a bit more. But let's look now at leatherworking, see what they've done to leatherworking. Reagent increase. Oh no, penumbra thread. This is just your this is your thread. This is going to add a little bit of cost to these items, but nothing huge. It's literally your vendor thread. This is no biggie at all. Adding the thread to a few of them. Taking what used to be 3 thread and turning it into 6. Mostly increases. Yeah, that's this leatherworking, really no changes to sort of shout home about. Mining, this is an interesting one. Oh, these just tooltip changes. Oh yeah, of course, because Elithium ore was saying that it was a blacksmith thing. Allows the miner to smelt several Elithium nuggets into an Elithium ore. Smelting requires a forge. Yeah, there's not actually any changes here apart from just like tooltip sort of stuff. We will get our gather on the go though and go and do some mining and herbalism to see if any of that's changed. Tailoring, I'm imagining, if I could guess what tailoring is going to be, I'm going to say it's going to be the thread stuff again. And of course, the bags. We've talked about bags. No more bag talk today. Bag talk is done. Novice Crafter's Mark. Yeah, everything's just using this new thread. Okay. Well, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad at all. The main interesting one for me was the changes to jewel crafting. This was definitely needed. As I've been quite vocal about saying how broken jewel crafting was, but it's nice to see that they are actually doing something about it. Bags, yes, dude, 2 new bags. But shh, we're done with bag talk. I've had my rant about bags. I think it's time to create some characters. it's time to create some characters and do a little bit more testing. I think what we really should do is let's go and pick up herbalism and mining. Looking nicely rounded out. Yeah, things are looking to be a bit smoother now. I definitely am getting the same sort of feeling. But we'll pick up herbalism, we'll pick up mining, we'll jump into Bastion, and we'll gather some stuff up quickly. We'll do a couple of gathering laps. Mining train is around here somewhere.
It would be my pleasure to help you.
Shadowlands mining.
Fortune and
Herbalism trainer, which direction's he in? He's here, isn't he?
how may I assist?
Pick up herbalism.
This realm offers
And let's take a zoom over to Bastion. Now I really do hope that there are at least some changes that we can spot. I wonder actually if I should activate Gathermate. I'll do that while we're flying. Let's head over to Hero's Rest. Let's quickly switch on Gathermate. And let's do some testing. Let's go. Sorry I don't manage to watch your streams too often, but I just wanted to ask, is there anything that you can suggest about Shadowlands tailoring and enchanting for gold making? Arguably they're both going to be very good for gold making. A nice little bit of nice opportunity for some cross promotion here. Our friend Samadan, who is currently in the stream, did a really nice video on the combination of tailoring and enchanting a few days ago, which is well worth looking at, as they are two professions that synergize quite nicely, since the cloth is usually one of the more abundant materials for crafting, which means that you can craft up some low level greens and disenchant them to give yourself that nice constant flow of materials. I'll link you Samadan's video because it was pretty good. No, I've got Billis's special version of it. Where was it? Shadowlands Professions, Tailoring and Enchanting, that was the one. So there you go. Check that video out if you want to know about actually tailoring and enchanting as a pair. I mean, I've got videos on both of them separately, but if you want to know sort of how they work out together, that's a good video to watch. Victorio, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Yeah, you can see since I've got access to Billis's special Gathermate, I've not really done much in terms of gathering, but let's do some testing and we'll see. Now it's going to be, the results are going to feel a little bit weird to start because of course we are back to skill 0. Yeah, been busy with university, but you two guys are the only people I watch for tips and suggestions. Thanks to you both. Well, I appreciate it, my friend. Glad we can be of help to you. Right, so let's start the lap. I feel slow on my Cloud Serpent. We need to switch to. Oh. I say switch to, it's genuinely the only mount that I have. In that case then, this is the mount I'm going to use. Good old pre-made characters. I'm going to have to be on the Wiggly Boy. I don't think you do go slower. It's still 100% ground speed, but it just feels slower for some reason. I never know why. So, first bit of gathering. Well, that's not a great start. That's really not a great start. Our Shadowlands Herbalism did increase to skill 2, but apparently there was no loot. Let's do some big old fonty fonts. That's, yeah, let's hope we can just put that down to being super low level. Death Blossom, go. Oh no, there was no loot. Do we think the beta's broken? Or do we think my version of the beta's broken? Was it so big the walking animation slowed down? Yeah, I know, I'm fully aware of why it happens. Just like that artificial feeling of being slower. Oh my god, no loot. Lazy Goalmaker was asking about no loot gather on Twitter. Ah. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, we're still... okay. Oh, well, we got some Lace Strike nuggets at least. Let's maybe just bang out a few Oh dear. Beta's broken. Beta's broken. Hang on. Hang on. Let's restart battle.net as well. Let's... Una memento. One minute. Reloaded battle.net. Doesn't indicate that there's any patch or any additional download. Let's just launch it again. See what happens. Where are the petals? Yeah, where is anything? Where's my connection even? You gathered loot, they detected and kicked me. Yeah. I've beat the system. I've completed the game. Let's try that again, shall we? Let's try that again. Find some more nodes. I should probably have also picked up, well, for starters, I should probably be doing this on a druid, but secondly, I should have also picked up the gathering enchant, really. But you guys know me by now. I'm not entirely that prepared. Quite frequently will think of things that I should have done but haven't. Now there's a node over here somewhere. I've done enough gathering in Bastion, I can pretty much run around the map without even the need of any add-ons. Let's change this one to be trade goods. Oh, no, I have the Dreamlight Rune Stag. Obtain 10 mounts. I am rocking. Oh, now I have genuinely got a whole bunch of mounts. We don't have to be on our Wiggly Boy anymore. Let's go with... Oh, should we go on the Hearthsteed? the biggest meme mount in history. No, we'll go on our horsey horse. That'll make us run a bit faster. Look. Okay, there's a whole bunch of ore spawning down here. That's considerably more nodes than there usually is. Have they added some more nodes as well? That would be a bonus. Absolutely a bonus. Apparently we need to be more down. They're still in stupid places though. Fingers crossed. Eee! Nuggets of Solarium. I know it's not Solarium. And some porous stone. Now how do we get to the one that's up there and the one that's down here? Where is it then? It's hiding. No, it's here. One thing I will say is they've still hidden half of the nodes in the rocks. The actual placement of them's still a bit wacky. Oh, my window's moved. Probably because I got disconnected. It's worthwhile. One tip I can give to anybody, especially people that use TSM regularly, is every time you make a change to TSM, do a /reload. Not for any other reason apart from that if you get disconnected, rarely does it save any changes you've made until you reload. So now, for example, I've made a UI change, do a /reload and it will save it, so if you get disconnected you won't have to revert back. And the reason I mentioned TSM in that is that so often, many times I've made a change to an operation and then got like disconnected for some reason, and then you lose the changes that you've made and you forget about it, and then your operations are weird and wonderful. It can be a right pain in the neck. But okay, well, we've not been able to pick up a single herb yet, but mining seems to allow something. Now, there's some nodes up here on the rocks. Around here somewhere. Yep, once again, hidden in the rocks nicely. Oh, a herb. Are we going to be able to pick up the herb? What do we think? Nope. No herbs. There's a new node though. Although to be fair, I've not, since I got the Gathermate add-on, I hadn't actually done a great amount of gathering, so there probably is quite a few nodes that I still don't know about. Now at the top here, there's a few nodes as well. There's this, another Solanum node. Yep, more herbs. Let's test our luck with the herbs again. Nope, they just disappear. I'm getting skill points for them though. So I'm wondering if it's just literally something to do with the petals. It may be a case of that the petals are bust, but the regular herbs are working. Might just mean that we need to get our herbalism up a decent amount first. You thought Dark Moon cards were expensive before. Now with no herbs in the game, yeah. Yeah, with no herbs in the game, Dark Moon cards are going to be very expensive. At an absolute premium.
We must reach them with our actions. I leave this unfortunate task to you.
Now, following a similar path to what I've followed before, I've not noticed anything that looks new in terms of node placement. Herbs only available from the Night Fae Garden would raise their price. Yeah, dramatically. There's more herbs up here. We'll just keep our fingers crossed. We'll level up to the point where I think that if I remember when I first leveled up herbalism, I seem to remember it being around level 50 where you would start getting like just straight up regular herbs rather than always picking up the petals. Oh, I've not even got a pet out. Okay, pet go, do some killing. I'm also very... Whoa, that was quite a lot. That was like... What was that? 26 nuggets? I realise my window's actually in the wrong place. Used to be about that big. That's better. Much better. That was 26 lacerite nuggets. Come on, pet, get aggro. Still no herbs. Oh, and there's a nightshade as well, you know. It's a good thing I'm not max level, because to pick up a nightshade and then get nothing, oh boy, would that feel terrible. This is making me want to get my garden set up even more. If I'm genuinely not able to get herbs the normal way, I need my secondary cheat way of getting them. Oh, Rising Glory ×2. I think it's just the petals that are bust. Hopefully they're just removing them. That would be the optimal solution in my mind, but we did get ourselves some Rising Glory. We got 2 Rising Glory. Didn't I say that was a Nightshade node? Can anybody remember? I think I said that was a Nightshade node, and then I picked up Rising Glory. Things are getting weirder by the minute. Maybe it was previously a Nightshade node, and Gathermate told me it was Nightshade. Rich Solanum deposit. Big results. Oh, come on. Stupid pet aggro. Oh, now I've aggroed everything. Now I know normally I'd probably be doing this on a druid, but the time to kill seems much faster on my hunter. I know I've got to mount up and stuff, but Rising Glory, Lace Strike deposit. Guess we'll grab those then. Where have they gone? Oh no, we're even further down. Rising Glory. Ah, now you see, now we're getting to the point where we're actually picking up just single herbs. So I'm quite confident in saying it's only the petals that are broken. Padka, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Welcome, welcome. How's mining? Mining seems to be, it feels relatively normal. But like I said, it's going to be difficult for me to really gauge it until I've maxed out mining again, because the leveling of mining may not be very representative of how mining actually is, you know. I'm just trying to get a first impressions. The main thing I wanted to do really is see if they've increased the amount of nodes that are kicking about, but they all seem to be spawning in the same sorts of places. There we go, 2 Rising Glory. Starting to get herbs. So that bug seems to be solely for the petals. First 3 weeks I plan to go solely herbing and mining, then alchemy and skinning in the upcoming months. Thoughts? You'll make a bunch of gold. I'm quite an advocate for pushing the thought process and the mindset of that gathering should only be a way for you to initially make some starting capital. If you use mining and herbalism for as long enough that it takes you to be able to buy the materials you need, crafting professions will always net you more gold, and present more options to you. I mean, I know people that have had herbalism and mining on their main character for 10 years, they've never changed, and they've got lots of gold, and they're happy to herb and mine, which is cool, each to their own. But if you are running around and you're doing herbalism and mining, and you open your bags and there's more than 500,000 gold in your bags, you are wasting your time. Categorically wasting your time. Because gold in your bags is not doing anything. There's no, you don't need 500,000 gold in your bags. Instead of running around herbing and running around mining, what you should do is go to the auction house, buy the materials, craft the items, sell the items, and then you've made gold, and you've done it all in a fraction of the time, giving you way more time to actually play other aspects of the game that you enjoy more. Mining and gathering should always be like a means to an end. Slacked a bit at the beginning of BFA, but made 5 million from skinning, from mining and herbing. Then I started skinning in alchemy, where I farmed the mats myself, so just working on pure profit. I'm not trying to make an example of you, so don't take this the wrong way, but it wasn't pure profit, because you had to trade your time to gather the materials. And if anything, that time is a constant value for every player of the game. But no, I get what you mean. Like it's more comfortable to try and make gold if you do it that way, because you never feel like you can possibly make a loss. It removes all of the risk, that's what I'm trying to say. And for some people, yes, removing that risk is super, super important. But the bigger, often, just like in real life, often the bigger the risk that you take, the greater the potential reward can be. I'll bring up a guy that is making a name for himself pretty quickly. A guy called Magicus, who's touted as the richest player in WoW. He's giving away Brutasaurs left, right and centre at the moment. He bought out the entirety of Student Albatross's transmog collection. He's doing some crazy wild things. He did not make his gold by farming. Absolutely no way. There's not enough hours in the day for him to have made his gold by farming. He makes his gold by investing the gold that he already has into buying big ticket items, and then he sells those big ticket items for more than it cost him to buy them. And over time, it's meant that, yeah, he's got billions of gold. It's ridiculous how much gold that guy's got. Yeah, the gold you can make in the first couple of months, though, is just crazy wild. Absolutely crazy wild. And it's why there's so much of an attraction to herbalism and mining. Because people see that, well, if I run around for an hour, I can put those things on the auction house and I'll wake up and I'll have 50,000 gold in my bags. It's just so simple, it's so easy, which makes it really attractive. Gather as you level, sell the herbs, then switch to crafting, and then buy herbs when they become cheaper. That's pretty solid. That's a good way to go. That is similar to the method that I tend to use. Because going pure crafting in the first week or so of an expansion is often very expensive, because you're buying materials at a steep premium. Which means you then have to make sure that you sell your items, or you're going to start making a loss pretty quickly. As undercutting can happen really quickly as well at the beginning of an expansion. Yeah, Magicus literally just plays the auction house all day long. It's interesting, if you check out Magicus's YouTube channel, he's actually unlisted most of his videos from more than like a week ago. But a couple of years ago, he used to make videos pretty regularly talking about how he made his gold. And the method he used is, I mean, if you look at his guild banks, he's got guild banks just full of like trading card game mounts. He's got spectral tigers all over the place. So he's then invested so much of his gold into items. He only needs to sell 3 items a month out of his collection, and he's paid for an entire year's worth of game time. But he's like an elite car salesman. He's dealing with the very, very top end, super rare, super expensive items. But you can only do that if you've got lots of gold to begin with. So you've got to get that gold to start with. That's what makes him a really interesting character. First of all, I'd like to thank you for the research you've done about Shadowlands professions. Well, you're welcome. I found your Reddit post in which you stated that for most professions you don't need to be level 60. Yeah, true. Arguably for any of the professions you don't need to be level 60. But if you really want to get the best out of the professions, then yes, being 60 is definitely going to help you. So the question, which professions are locked behind end level content, e.g. recipe ranks, level 60 quests, some end game systems, that sort of thing? Pretty much all of the professions in some way, shape or form. The big one is Crafter's Mark rank 2. This dude's running around Herbin, you know. Crafter's Mark rank 2 is is it honoured or revered? I think it's revered, with a faction called the Avowed. The Avowed is a faction in Revendreth, but it's basically a kill mobs, collect tokens, grind rep faction. They hold the pattern for Crafter's Mark rank 2, which is going to give you the ability to create item level 168 gear out of any of the stuff that you can craft. So that's quite an important recipe that is somewhat locked behind a reputation. The interesting thing is that we found yesterday, if you go on Wowhead, for example, Wowhead states that you have to be level 57 to get the entry level quest to start gaining reputation with the Avowed, which is only true on your first character. If you level through Threads of Fate, you can go straight to Revendreth, you can go and pick up the entry level quests straight away at level 50, 51, whatever it is, and start grinding rep whilst you're leveling. So even that one, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be level 60, but you have to at least be somewhat actively playing Shadowlands content. And of course, the base legendary items are an end game feature. You can only craft base legendary items if you're level 60, because you firstly need access to the Maw to do the Torghast introduction requests, and it's not until you can get into Torghast can you speak to the Rune Carver, and it's the Rune Carver that gives you the quest to send you back to your profession trainer, where you pick up the patterns for the base legendary items. So there's a few things that are locked behind either leveling or reputation. But one of the more popular ones, for example, Dark Moon cards. Dark Moon cards, you can basically just have a level 50, 51 ult, banging out Dark Moon cards all day long. I also have a lot of big raiding guilds on my servers. All of them take over the crafting department in a sense, and they pay big for the materials. So usually so I figured gathering profs wouldn't be too bad either. Yeah, I mean, the real good way to utilise gathering professions is to find somebody that will buy all of your materials. You can just cod them your materials, avoid the auction house completely, and that does two things. It means that you've got a quick turnaround on the materials that you want to sell, but it also helps maintain the value in the items more so. Because if there's, say for example, there's 10,000 pieces of cloth on the auction house, yes, somebody can come along and buy a bunch. But if there's always 10,000 pieces of cloth on the auction house, people are going to undercut each other, the price is slowly going to come down. if your supply of cloth is never touching the auction house, it's going straight to a character that needs it. It's going to give the impression that the material is, there's going to be less undercutting, there's going to be less price depreciation. Sometimes you can even, if it's a material like Nightshade, for example, if you can turn around and offer somebody a stack of Nightshade, they're likely to pay more than what the auction house price is, because they may not be able to even go to the auction house and buy 200 of it. Is Crafter's Mark rank 2 the best you can get? Currently, yes. In earlier versions of the beta, there was a Crafter's Mark 3 and 4, which increased the item level even further than 168. Those we're likely to see in like patch 9.1, patch 9.2, that sort of thing. That's going to be Blizzard's way to keep the professions somewhat relevant. Well, I've ran round, I've done a couple of laps out here, and it's very much feeling like the amount of nodes is exactly the same. It's really difficult for me to work out whether the loot from the nodes is any different until I get my herbalism and mining maxed out. Now, I'm not going to spend all day running around herbing and mining. I will do this casually this evening. I'll throw some Netflix up and I'll just run around and do some mining. I'll do that off stream. So we're not going to be able to fully test this just yet. But what I do think I think we need to do is start creating some characters, getting some professions on the go, and then just diving through them and seeing if there's any sort of undocumented changes. Because we already found big undocumented changes to the legendary base items yesterday. So there's likely to be a lot more that is kind of not publicly available yet. So I think I'm going to hold this dude here. I'm going to abandon this once more. I'm going to do one last attempt at going over to get my Queen's Conservatory up and running. If I still can't talk to you, Sarah, then boo, we'll have to try again later. But so basically the best day 1 gear people will be buying will utilise Crafter's Mark rank 2, which will mean you need to be revered. So it will be optimal to have blacksmithing, leatherworking or tailoring on your main. I despise this word optimal, and it's mainly because there is really no optimal setup. It's so dependent on so many different things. Leatherworking, in my opinion, is slightly better than both tailoring and blacksmithing, simply because you've got twice as many options in terms of what you craft. Having it on the character that you're going to play most, yeah, sure. It's a question that's really difficult to sort of answer. Nightshade transmute coming. It would be nice to see, definitely. I definitely agree, it would be nice to see a Nightshade transmute. Also see where the bags are in tailoring. Will they change how you maximise tailoring? We looked at that in a little bit of detail earlier. You get the base level bag. Basically, the bags are not going to change the way that you level tailoring. The optimal or semi-optimal way of leveling tailoring is still the same as what it was before, regardless of the bags. Because in relative material costs, the bags cost way more than anything else you'd be crafting at that level. I hope for Crafter's Marks for Drawn Crafters and fixing the essence amount in prospecting. Well, they have reduced the amount of essences that are needed to craft base legendary items very dramatically. Instead of needing 50 essences, you now need only 3 essences. So it's hugely less than what it was before. I'm doing some flying for 2 minutes though, guys, and I need to go grab a drink because I've been talking for hours and my throat is dry. There's something that's very dry. I will be back in 2 minutes. If you need something to occupy yourself for 2 minutes, find that like button and press it. Good on you. Back in 2. Alrighty. Let's go find you, Sarah, quickly. How many of you hit that like button? Oh, a few of you. Nice ones. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Oh, we had a new sub as well. Mohammed Sin February. I'm going to butcher that name. I'm really sorry, but welcome either way. Why is my game bouncing around like madness? Let's switch to this one. There we go, that's smoother. Don't know why it was doing that. My game captured gone all funny for a minute. I'm going to run all 8 professions from day 1. That's why I'm asking which characters to stay at 50 and utilise 90% of. And which characters you've got to level to 60. One of the only ones I would heavily prioritise getting to 60 would be your scribe. Simply because the contracts require you to be revered with their relevant faction. Hey, now we can mount you, Sarah. She took a painkiller, she got rid of her headache. She was ready for some riding. Yes, Inscription is going to be one that's pretty reputation heavy. Anything that deals with crafting gear is going to require you to do that little mini grind to get Crafter's Mark rank 2. So that's going to be your tailors, your blacksmiths, your leather workers, your jewel crafters. Alchemy, is there anything in alchemy that really requires you to be max level? Your transmute, where does the transmute come from? No, I think your daily transmute for alchemy is locked behind rep somewhere. I can't remember exactly. There's so many professions and so much new stuff, my brain can't hold it all. But yeah, crafting professions primarily, inscription as well. Enchanting actually, because enchanting to get enchanted Elysium bar, which is what blacksmiths need to craft their legendaries, enchanters have to be revered with somebody to get that pattern. So there's not many professions that can really sort of fully be utilised. without doing at least a little bit of leveling. What do you think is the most wanted professions in Shadowlands? Oh, inscription, easily. I mean, literally, probably 50% of people that have told me what their professions are going to be include inscription. People are obsessed with Darkmoon cards and missives. But I honestly can't stress enough that if everybody goes inscription, everybody loses. Because there'll be too much competition. There's no barrier to entry for Darkmoon cards. Anybody can buy herbs, anybody can mill them, anybody can craft the inks, anybody can craft the cards, anybody can build the decks. I mean, you don't even need inscription to participate in the Darkmoon card element of gold making, because you could theoretically just buy the individual cards and build the decks. The fact that there's no reputation grind attached to Darkmoon decks, there's no ranks attached to Darkmoon decks. You can get to skill 80 without even stepping foot in Shadowlands. Darkmoon decks or the Darkmoon card business is not going to be as lucrative as people think it is going to be. That's not to say that you won't make gold. You're just not. It's going to be really competitive really quickly. Herbalists disagree with me. Well, true. Every herbalist out there is absolutely crying for everybody to be a scribe. Aha, do we now have... This is better. We should now have ability to... How do we get down off here? We talk to... Talk to the butterfly. Witness the Winter Queen empower the heart of the forest. Yes, please. I'm ready. Do it. I'll skip the cutscenes. Nobody needs to see cutscenes. Excellent. Now we should be cooking. Darkmoon decks are going to be worse compared to BFE since there's no ranks, no rep grinds, and by far the biggest impact, no expulsum. Yeah. If people are using BFA as their point of reference for Darkmoon cards, it's going to be quite a shock to the system for a few people. Like I said, I'm not knocking it so far. I'm not saying you won't make gold with Darkmoon cards. You absolutely will. You're going to have to spend your entire life either herbing and milling, creating cards, and cancel scanning on the auction house. Oh, okay, so the beta is still giving you all 40 renowned straight away. You have reached the pinnacle of the Night Fae. Why thank you. Rank 4 Legos is where the gold's going to be. First to get the rank 4s will be a real race. Yeah, I definitely agree. The rank 4 Legos are going to make a whole bunch of gold. Just be really careful though. You've got to remember that nobody needs a rank 4 legendary until the 4th week. Because they can't craft the final legendary until they've got the soul ash that they need. So although the race to be able to craft them is going to be pretty strong, don't forget that their use is limited for at least the first 3 and a bit weeks. On very, very heavily populated servers, I expect to see people absolutely zerg their way to rank 4, then try and sell all of their rank 4s. And what will happen is that there's likely to be more people able to craft the rank 4s than people that actually want to buy them. So in the first 2-3 weeks, you'll see rank 4s on the auction house, but those guys will just continuously undercut each other, and the price of rank 4s will go down quite considerably. And then you might find that when it's, say, the 3rd week of the expansion, people start thinking, next week I get to use my rank, I'll have enough dust for my rank 4, and that's when they'll start buying them, and that's when the price of them will go back up again. On my server there's 27,000 players. Yeah, based on those numbers, you might find that 10,000 of those players decide to go inscription. Why can't I build my What's going on? Speak to somebody. Where's the somebody I need to speak to? I need to unlock the Queen's Conservatory. I'm trying to, but you won't let me. Maybe I need to continue further in the campaign quickly before I can get my Queen's Conservatory back up and running. Who's the dude I'm meant to talk to? He's outside somewhere. Outside or up on the... Up here.
How can I help?
Yeah, it's in regards to like gold making in general. The Legion expansion and the BFA expansion were really favourable towards people that planned ahead and prepared ahead, because they knew which reputations they needed to get the rank 2s and the rank 3s, and they could focus on getting those. The difference that we now sit in with Shadowlands is that even if you do no preparation, you don't look at any of this, if you just think, I'm going to make Darkmoon cards, then day one, instantly, you can start making Darkmoon cards. There's very little... I mean, I'm really just completely shitting on the purpose of my own stream here right now, but there's so little tangible benefit to that extra level of preparation that there was in past expansions. How am I meant to unlock the Queen's Conservatory when this dude won't talk to me? Sanctum Reservoir is currently inactive. How do I activate it? It's going to change next day anyway. It's still beta, changing things every second. Well, there is an element of that, of course, yeah. But I still feel that most of the professions are at a point where they're virtually exactly as they will be when they go live. I think I need to actually complete some quests. I need to complete some world quests before it's going to let me do anything. Speak to Zyad to unlock the Queen's Conservatory. I've heard that you're aiding us in restoring the Sanctum. There's a very special magical grove that we know as called the Queen's Conservatory. Within this magical sanctuary, we nurture the spirits of old deities back to life, but its magic has waned with the anima drought. It's in need of your help. It would mean the world to us if you could start the restoration process by acquiring the resources that we need. Zyad is this big tree dude, right? Yeah, that's the big tree dude. And he won't let me talk to him properly until I've done something else. What's the something else I need to do we think? Now we've got the weekly quests, which is collect the souls from the moor and replenish the reservoir. This silk shortage, I believe, is what's actually the one that's part of the campaign. Complete the quest A Calling in Ardenweld to continue on the campaign. This is the most likely one I'm going to need to do to start unlocking my Queen's Court. So we're going to need to do some world quests. Is that what we're saying, game? Is that what we're saying? True, but quite a lot of people lack the funds to do that and will give up almost immediately. Well, that is also true. deposit some anima, perhaps. I'm thinking that on the basis that I could go and use the test vendor to get some anima, but I think the natural path of unlocking this, I probably need to have done the first bit of the campaign. So let's just bang out a couple of world quests quickly. Before we do that though, I'm going to go and fix my gear because I've still only got dog shit gear. Where's the flight master dude? Because we don't actually even have our first conduit or anything even. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of the campaign, I think, to get this Queen's Court up and running quickly. And then we'll unlock the transport network and a whole bunch of stuff, so it'll be worthwhile. Let's go grab some PvP gear, get some upgraded PvP gear. That means we can basically just one-shot everything nice and quickly. Hoping the PvP vendor's still there actually though. I'd not checked that with a new build. Yeah, I probably should check that, to be honest. Wow, my gold making went up this week, 70k so far. It's not bad going, not bad going, keep at it. That grind is real. To be proactively trying to make gold at the moment, I don't envy you, as trying to make gold in retail right now is a difficult task. Is there any BOP gear craft required by Mythic Raiders like there were the 470s? No, pretty much everything is BOE. There's only like the cauldron, the flask cauldrons are bind on account. But that still doesn't mean that you need to craft them on your main. You could craft them on an alt and transfer them to the main if you're the dude in your raid that needs to bring the cauldron so everybody gets their flasks. The gear wise though, there's really not so much that is going to be. A few people have asked like what's the optimal setup for raiders, and once again there really isn't such. Only with stuff being gear being bind on pickup previously was there this real rush to like level your professions and that sort of stuff, but I'm quite sure if you asked a true mythic raider, they would tell you different. But at least from my knowledge, there's not really any profession that stands out as an absolute must for raiders. Aha, PvP vendor, nice. Show me your wares. I know you're the conquest dude. I want this one. I want that one. So we need, what do we need? We need a bow. We need a new bow. We need chest piece, helm, legs, a couple of trinkets. I really don't care what they are. We need some boots, some gloves, some shoulders, a belt, some braces, a cloak, and a couple of rings. And a neck. Nice. That's a dutiful squire. What does this guy do when he's at home? Sure. Let's equip all of this. New gear. Give ourselves a nice little item level boost. Just make the world questing a bit easier. Attach the 2 rings, then we can do some upgrades on it. That's got us up to 158. Where's the upgrader dude? Here he is. Mash the upgrade button a few times. It's easy to make gold in retail and cleared 3 mil last week. Oh, it's still possible. Absolutely still possible. It's more of a case of having, if you've got a good supply of items just on the auction house, there are still sales to be made. Crafting though is just in the trash right now. Gathering is in the trash. The easy entry level methods to making gold are pretty few and far between right now. Hence why everybody is just mad for like running old raids and doing raw gold farms, and the AD crew is in high force right now. But if you've graduated from entry level gold school and are sitting comfortable, willing to make some investments, or have a big stock of transmog items already ready to sell, that sort of thing, then you circumvent a lot of this kind of patch flow and you just make steady gold continuously. Which is another reason why I advocate, like, gather your ass off, get some gold, start investing it in professions, make some more gold, then start investing in like flipping BOEs and mounts and pets and bigger stuff. Because the sooner you get to that bigger and better stuff, you then just make gold all the time. It doesn't matter whether something gets, a farming spot gets nerfed or a new raid comes out, you're just always making gold. That's the dream, boys and girls. That's the dream. Legion BOEs from raids. Legion BOEs, they go for 100k. Holy smoke. Can you make 50k to 100k from arcane crystal alone? Okay, news to me, but sure. If you run the correct old raids, you'll get some very good transmog. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. The thing is like, if people are looking for that quick fix right now, there's not so much of a profitable quick fix. Because obviously if you start building up a transmog collection, that's going to be a slow burner until you've got like at least 100 pieces up on the auction house at all times. I both farm and flip, get more than 50 gold if it gets more than 50 gold under the market price. Oh, these are the arcane crystals. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. Yeah, one thing you'll learn pretty quickly from watching my videos or streams is I don't disown farming. I fully understand and appreciate that farming has its place in the game, but I also see it as something that you should progress past after a while. Transmog is slightly an exception, as I almost consider transmog as like a method of flipping. You could arguably never go out and farm up any transmog yourself, but buy transmog items when you see them cheap and flip them. That's the way I would do transmog, because then it's win-win for me. I don't have to spend hours running old dungeons. I don't have to go 5 hours without getting anything decent. If I see something cheap on the auction house, I buy it and then sell it for more. Win. That's kind of the goal making that I like to do more so. The higher end stuff. But the issue is it does require you to often invest a lot of gold to begin with. Right, so now we've got ourselves some good gear. We're more adequately set to just go and one-shot a bunch of things. Currently, I've got only about 2 million gold on retail right now. I'm feeling pretty poor, but it's mainly because I bought a whole bunch of tokens and upgraded 8 accounts to Shadowlands. So that got quite expensive quite quickly. Where's the Flight Master gone? He's escapade. Here he is. I mean, most 6 of my 8 accounts don't even have game time on them right now. I've just not focused on retail at all for the last quite a while. So we need to do, let's work out where we need to fly to, because we don't necessarily need to go to the middle. We can do this, what's this? Kill some stuff. We'll do a kill the stuff quest. That's it. Sometimes transmog could take months to sell if it sells at all, so... Am I going to multi-box farm with those 8 accounts, or what are they for? Well, my plan for Shadowlands, it's still only a plan, because I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be able to do it. But my thought process is I want to have my 8 hunters, I will level them to 60 first. That will mean that I will get past this kind of forced linear leveling experience. Once I've got my 8 hunters at level 60, I will level them with gathering profession, dual gathering professions. So as and when I'm leveling them, I can be picking up herbs, I can be picking up ore. I will save. To be honest, I'll probably sell the herbs and the ore. But then once I hit 60, I'll switch them all out to crafting professions. I'll give each one of them their own separate crafting profession that they can focus on. And then I'll have a couple of herbalists, a couple of miners, a couple of skinners, so that if I really want to go out and do some farming, I can. But for the most part, I just want to have access to all of the professions really quickly using those. And then once they're kind of doing their thing, they're up and running, my alt will be my druid, which will be jewel gatherer. So I'll then level a set of druids, and I'll level them through the threads of fate, so that I can go to any zone, and they will mainly be herbalists and miners. So my druids will be my farmers for the most part. My hunters they'll start off as gatherers, because day 1 materials is just bonkers price. There's no reason for me to not take advantage of that. And then, yeah, it'll probably be day 2, day 3, maybe day 4 that I'll switch them out to crafting professions. So I'm deliberately skipping the first couple of days of absolute craziness. I'm unlikely to be selling Dark Moon trinkets for 500k. Some people will. I'll probably avoid that, if I'm honest. But I'm also probably going to take the leveling a bit more casually. I don't think I'm even going to level in one sitting. The game release time is not favourable to EU, unfortunately. I think the game launches at like 1 AM for me, which is not great, because I still have real life commitments, so I can't necessarily completely go nocturnal for a week. But we'll see. If I don't, the problem is if I multi-box, I'm not going to be able to stream. And I would really like to stream the launch. Simply because running 8 accounts at reasonable enough frame rate that I'm happy with is a little bit more taxing on my PC than I would like it to be. 11 PM in the UK. Yeah, I'm although I am English, you can probably tell by the accent, I don't live in the UK anymore, so my time zone is different. 4 PM release here, that's right when I wake up. Well, yeah, there you go, in that case, it's perfect. My first hunters and my first druids will be all on the same server. Now, long term, that's not ideal, and actually, I highly recommend against that. But the very first few weeks of an expansion is kind of different. My gatherers are really only going to be there to supply myself with materials. I'm unlikely to sell many materials with my gatherers. I actually have 8 hunters and 8 druids all on different servers as well. I've got lots of hunters, I've got lots of druids. So long term, once the initial craze is over and things kind of smooth out a little bit more, I will level my characters on the separate servers. And we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, for anybody interested in multi-boxing, the long-term sensible thing to do is to have them on separate servers. That way, if you could then arguably get if you go out and you farm pets or you farm mounts, then you don't end up with like flooding your own auction house and just like crippling your own sales. So curious to what my PC build is. It's by today's standards, it's not great anymore. It's about 3 or 4 years old, my PC. It's an i7 6700K, 970 graphics card, 32 gig of RAM, that sort of thing. It's really, by today's standards, it's not epic in any way. Why do I choose Hunter for farming? I don't necessarily choose the Hunter for farming. It's just Hunter's a really good class for multi-boxing, because virtually every button you press is instant cast, which just lends itself nicer to multi-boxing. How did I get so small? In fact, where's my pet? Where is my pet? What is he doing? Can you kill things for me, please? An alchemist's journal. What's this? Increase your Shadowlands alchemy skill by 5. You can only use 1 skill journal per week. Hey, well that's cool. I didn't know those existed. When did they become a thing? Is that new? And there's a rare. This dude's going down pretty quickly. I wonder if he drops anything interesting. Or maybe this is a rare that's linked to this quest, maybe. What we'll do in a little bit though, guys, I'm simply just trying to get my Queen's Conservatory up and running, because it's a time-gated leveling thing. It takes me 4 or 5 days to fully get it leveled up again. So I really want to get cracking on that as early as possible. But once I've got the Queen's Court up and running, we'll go back, we'll make some new characters, and we'll take a bit of a detailed dive through the professions again, just to see if anything's changed. It would be nice to see dual crafting for my own eyes, the legendary changes. So we'll test that in a bit as well. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have the materials to actually craft any base legendary items for a while, simply because farming the materials myself is too much like hard work. They were added in a few releases ago. Oh, okay, I'd not found one before. They're just on use. Requires Shadowlands Alchemy 1. It doesn't say bind on pickup or not.
Those little miscreants are nothing but trouble. Well done.
Right, there's one world quest done. Yeah, you had those upgrades in WoD as well, I do remember them. We need another world quest to do. Where was the flight point? Well, I don't know about the drop rate of the essences, but they dramatically reduced the amount of essences needed to craft the legendaries. In total, it used to take you 100 essences to craft a rank 1 legendary. It now only takes 6. So it's had a 94% reduction in material cost. GTX 970, you can do 8 multi-boxing, that's nice. Yeah, I mean, WoW's not really a graphically intensive game. I mean, yes, it's the graphical fidelity is not good. I still have to put the graphic settings on low. But WoW is very, even to this day, it's basically a CPU-bound game. The bigger the processor, the more threads you have available to you, the smoother you'll be able to run multiple instances of WoW. I mean, even with an i7 processor, I arguably know it's one from a few years ago, but it's my CPU that's the bottleneck rather than my graphics card. What's the approximate item level you end up after leveling 60? Well, the pre-made characters they give you on the beta is, I think it's 138. So I would imagine if you just level naturally, you're going to hit 58, 59, maybe 60 with item level 120, 125, something like that. Feels about right to me.
Trust your heart.
6 question mark. It makes it more realistic with the drop rate. Yeah. Yes, it's a huge reduction, but considering that I was prospecting entire stacks of Leystrite ore and maybe getting 1 essence per stack of ore, it wasn't until I started prospecting the zone-specific ore. In fact, I can show you. I've got my prospecting rates here. He says, where is it? Were they in here? Oh, they're in this one. Prospecting. So an entire stack of Leystrite ore didn't get me any essences previously. When we prospected lithium ore, we prospected an entire stack and we only got 3 essences. The zone-specific ores then dropped their own specific essences, but we got like 2 or 3 of them each time. So it feels like it's going to take about 2 stacks of ore, but of course they could have changed the drop rate of them from prospecting as well. So it's hard to tell exactly right now until I can get some more prospecting done, and I can't get more prospecting done until I can get access to my garden. So that's exactly what I'm working on now. I'm going to go do this world quest. We need to do 2 more world quests. So if you end up with item level 125, demand for Crafter's Mark rank 2 gear is going to be there. Oh yeah, definitely. People that, I mean, I think item level 168 is, I think it's a touch under heroic dungeon gear. Dungeons, just pick any dungeon, it doesn't really matter. Normal gear is 158. Heroic gear is 171. So it's between normal and heroic level gear. But of course, for people that basically want to skip the dungeon leveling aspect, they could buy 168 gear off the auction house if they wanted. Have you made any videos on the garden? Yeah, I did a video, I want to say about a week ago now, on the garden. I only really sort of touched on what the garden is and what it's and what you can do in it. I didn't really go into like optimal strategies or anything like that, as I wanted to wait till. Well, firstly, the garden still felt a little bit broken on the beta, so I didn't want to start doing like optimal strategies until it was like at least somewhat working. But yeah, if you what was it? I'll just link you the video. I'll be a sensible person. Where was it? Get shareable link. There we go. Bingo. That's your video for the Queen's Conservatory.
How would you feel about spreading a little more?
It's raining sparkles. How do we do this then? Speak to Lady Moonberry. Where is she? Where is she hiding? Oh, I remember this one. This is the one where you fly around and just drop chaos on these dudes.
You could probably use a little help, huh?
Let's rain some terror. We're going to need to do one more world quest after this, and then we should be good to go. If I remember rightly, I think it takes an hour to unlock tier 2 of the... sorry, an hour to unlock the first tier of the garden. And then I think it was 12 hours after that, so I really want to get on this quick. Because, is it Thursday today? It's Thursday, isn't it? So, I would hopefully like to have my garden fully up and running again by Monday. That way we can re-level professions where we need to, and I can basically then print materials for testing anything we need. So it's going to be slow for the next few days, but arguably I need to do some non-stream related stuff. I need to level up my gatherer, so we can see if herbing and mining feels any different. Am I going to do any high mythic key raiding, or am I just really a gold thing? My thing is the economy and gold making primarily. I dabble in raiding and Mythic Plus and that sort of stuff, but I wouldn't necessarily say I do anything competitive. Most tiers I will do like, I'll do the raid on like normal and heroic mode maybe, but I very rarely do anything on Mythic. It's not the challenge I enjoy, if I'm honest. How many of these do we need to kill? I feel as if I've been doing this for hours. We need 150. What does number 2 do? Oh, it's just a shield. Yeah, it's the bonus features of the Covenant you don't get access to until you're level 60. If you do the Threads of Fate, you can start leveling up, sorry, let me rephrase that. If you do the Threads of Fate, you can start doing like your daily quests and things that will gather you anima, so you'll have a bit of an anima head start. But to upgrade the different aspects of your Covenant, you need, I can't remember what they call them, some lost souls or something. Those lost souls, you get them from the Maw. And you can't get access to the Maw until you're level 60. So it's somewhat of a sort of, it's a passive restriction to it based on other restrictions. So yeah, the Night Fae, if you want your alts to also have Night Fae Gardens, then bear in mind that those alts are also going to need to be level 60. Unlike garrisons, where you could get your garrison straight away and at least start doing some stuff. I know you couldn't max out your garrison until you were closer to max level. There were some level restrictions in place on that, if I remember rightly. But with the garden, it's just simply locked off until you hit 60. Because you need access to them all. Where's the Flight Master then? Flight Master's got to be around here somewhere. Here you go, Flight Master. Which quest are we going to do next? We need to do, what's this one over here? Devour Rifts Closed, Resonating Anima Core created from motes. Okay, there's either that one, oh that's only got 3 minutes left. I don't think we're going to achieve that one. We'll fly over here then. This will be our last world quest we need to do, and then we'll have completed our calling. We'll get ourselves Bounty of the Warden's Grove. So if my main is not Fae, then I should make an alt a Fae. If you want access to the garden, it's up to you. Game data is being downloaded. Interesting. Why? Okay, sure. Background downloader was kicking in for some reason. Are blacksmiths, leatherworkers, tailors, jewel crafting the only professions that give you base legendary items? Yes. What's your target in Shadowlands? I mean, how much gold are you looking to make? 100 million or more? I've not really set myself a target per se. I want to get to a point in Shadowlands where I don't have to I don't have to think about gold. I would like to be able to spend 100,000 gold and not think about it. That kind of mainly because when it comes to like content creation, which I enjoy streaming. I enjoy like doing all the research into this sort of stuff for you. To do that on live gets really expensive really quickly, which is the main reason why I'm looking to multi-box at the beginning of Shadowlands. Because although I've got the added expenditure of buying multiple copies of Shadowlands, I then can skip the time requirement that's needed to get all of those characters to 60. For example, I would like to be able to just repeatedly test things that cost hundreds of thousands of gold in the game. I would like to try and get some actual guides out there for people that are more specific to high-end gold making. Now you can't really do that unless you have a lot of gold to begin with. Why am I helping this dude kill it? I'd rather he die and give me the tag. He's a Tauren Druid, that's not... Tauren Paladin, that's not going to happen. Let's just help him kill it. Yeah, so simply put, one aspect of gold making that you see very rarely represented on YouTube or on streams is the really high-end stuff. Everybody talks about gathering routes and everybody talks about the best farming spots, but very rarely do people talk about what you do after that. And that's what I'd like to I would like that to be my niche, but of course it's expensive. How do I close these rifts then? I don't seem to have any item or any ability to close the rift. Or do I have an item to do it? No, I don't appear to. Combine 5 resonating anima motes into a resonated anima core. Okay. I think I just need to kill a lot of stuff out here. These things have got... Why are these things got so much health? There's a trick I'm missing here, I think. I don't know. These are right beefy boys, you know. Oh, hang on, we're getting a bunch of these anima motes. Ah, these are the trick, aren't they? Yeah. Okay, well let's we'll just drag him around. Is this thing healing itself? I think it is. How is it healing itself? And can it please stop doing it? Melee attacks heal the cast. Oh, okay, so my pet attacking it is actually doing negative damage, and that's great. You can do this. Hope to see you a top famous gold streamer soon. Thank you. I never planned to be famous doing this. This is not something that makes you famous. Ah, there we go. That's how we close the rifts. Now it makes sense. I need 4 more then. Aha. Oh no, he beat me to it. Oh no, it's alright, fine, we got it. It's all good. Let's help this dude kill it, let's be nice, even though it's the Horde. The quicker he kills it, the quicker we can all go. Need two more portals. That's it. There's one. Nice. I need to close another portal, but now I've run out of resources. Derp. Why are these things invisible? Oh no, they're not invisible. They're just hiding. How many of these things do we need? We need to combine 5 of them. God damn. Still need more. Keep going. I get so impatient doing world quests though, it's unhealthy. Boom. Now we just need a portal. Find a portal. Wasn't there one over here before? Hang on, I can see one out. No, that was the back side of one of these things. Oh my god, if I'm struggling to find them on the beta, by the time this goes live, this is going to get crazy busy. Here we go. Here's one of the things I need to do. Boom. Last. Now let's just run away. Escape. Right, doing those. It's interesting to see actually that I know this was part of Blizzard's plan, but boy, do world quests actually take a lot longer than they used to. The days of I mean, it's likely got something to do with just the amount of gear that we don't have at this point, but we get so used to just one-shotting everything and just causing carnage. But literally the world quests do take 2-3 times longer than what they used to. I'm not sure if I like the change. It depends what impact the world quests actually end up having. If I have to start doing it on multiple characters, it might annoy me quite quickly. But okay, we can get our calling done now. Hopefully that will give us access to this Queen's Court. I really hope it does. So I really wanted to... this was genuinely the first thing I wanted to do today. I thought this was going to be a 20 minutes, run in there, bash it out the park, job done. I really didn't expect this to take so long. Sarah's headache earlier though hasn't helped things. Right, now give me the bounty. The lifeblood of the forest. You've fulfilled your calling, Moorwalker, and brought calm to our forest. Stay vigilant, but others will similarly call upon you in time. Use the anima you have recovered to be of great use to the heart of the forest. Bring it to Zayed. They will ensure it is safe until it is needed. Oh, okay, so yeah, we definitely did need to do that. Let's open our bounty. What did we get from the bounty? We got a grey item that's worth 2,000 gold. Ka-ching. We got ourselves a bind-on pickup piece of gear and 2 Feywild ambers, which is the equivalent of 1,000 anima. So that in itself actually also means that we completed our weekly anima total. I'd say it's better this way, way more time per world quest, but less of them. Yeah, I'm sort of thinking that. As long as I only need to do 3 or 4, then I really don't mind. But if they take 15 minutes to do each one, and I have to do like 20 every day, I'm going to get really annoyed real quickly. Deposit anima into your sanctum's reservoir. Show me the sanctum. Here we go. Now we're cooking. Now we can deposit the anima. Bingo. Now we can start making things. You need 1,000 anima, which we don't have. Although we do have. We've got the 1,000 anima, but we need access the Queen's Conservatory, where you'll learn to restore the souls of lost gods to life. We now need the Redeeming Soul. Now by normal, I think by normal questing, we should, we get more anima here. Speak to Flutterby in the heart of the forest. So recover the lost. This is the part where we then go and get the first few souls. Now I could, like I said, I could just speak to the test vendor and like cheat the system. But last time I did that, my character completely bugged. So find Venari in the moor. Okay, so now this is where it sends you to the moor. This is do what we cannot is this is a level 60 quest, I believe, because you can't get to Venari in the moor until you're 60. Okay, let's head to the moor then. This is starting to make more sense. We can half back. I might make this. What time are we on? We're oh Jesus, we've been streaming 3.5 hours already. Damn, that went quick. Holy, I genuinely feel like we haven't done anything today. Damn, I feel bad now. I feel like we should have done more. What have we done today? I suppose I spent hours looking through patch notes. That's probably why. Yeah, and I got stuck talking about bags. It's your fault. Stuck talking about bags, that's the problem. I suppose we did a bit of gathering as well. We done a bunch of stuff. Yeah, just talking. Yeah, sorry. Tends to be what I'm good at, I think. Do what we cannot. Complete. Set the ground rules about working together with Venari. Sure, what are your ground rules? Okay. Lovely.
I pride myself in recognizing a valuable asset.
Ground rule set. Where did he go? He vanished. Hello? Where did Venari go? What am I meant to do here? He ran away. Oh, god damn, the beta sometimes. This is odd. Do we do a reload? Just as I was about to hand in my quest, he just poof. He decides he's had enough. Am I missing something? Complete ground rules set. Done that. Can't hand it in because he's not here. Let's just zone out and zone in again. No, it's still telling me to go down there. This is odd. If anybody thought, well, yeah, I had the thought process that maybe with this new patch of now he's back again.
Trees will be revealed.
Interesting. Okay. Report a bug with this dude. What's the button to report the bug with a dude? F6. What was the issue with the creature? What's the quest? Setting the ground rules. Oh dear, what's going on? Once the quest was complete. What's this dude's name? Venari. Vanished. Had to leave zone and re-enter before he came back. Reported. Doing our duties. Rescue 5 souls and receive 25 Stygia. Stronger enemies will have higher chance to drop large amounts. Use the Stygia to purchase a cipher of relocation from Venari. How much do we need? We need 25 of the stuff.
One's continued existence within the mall, one must maintain a plan of escape at all times.
Let's go kill some stuff then. 5 souls taken into the Soulkeeper. Yeah, I was really hoping to have this done a bit quicker. I had no realization that I had to do quite as much as this. I genuinely thought 5 minutes, in we go, bish bash, job's done. No, I actually had to do quite a bit more setup, unfortunately. But needs must. It'll be advantageous eventually. Interestingly, it does appear that there's herbs and ore out here now though, which is nice. For the longest time you couldn't mine or herb anything in the moor. And considering the amount of time I think we're going to have to spend out here, it would be nice to at least, you know, collect a few other things. So we've got a couple of souls done already. What's over this way? Over this way was completely empty last time. Or was this the leveling zone? I can't remember. What? Periodically driven mad while within the Beast Warrens. You're not equipped to be out here, turn around. Is that genuinely what it's telling me to do? What is this debuff? Periodically driven mad. I'm going to test it, you know. I want to go mad. Madden me. Just dawned on me, Shadowlands is set to launch this month now. Yeah, we're in October. Shadowlands officially comes out this month. It's scary to think. And the fact that we've not even had a release date for the pre-patch yet. It's still it's a mad one, you know. Oh, I can kill stuff out here, but I don't get any loot or anything. Damn shame. that's assuming that Blizz doesn't delay it. It's a theory. And unfortunately, it's a pretty solid theory, you know. I mean, I'm certainly going to go as far as to say that they're not going to delay it. If they're going to delay anything, they'll delay the pre-patch. And we just won't get more than a week or two of pre-patch. And the pre-patch on the beta PTR is also still broken. Yeah, it's in a bit of a weird way. I mean, Activision as a company, like, they're not a company that likes to delay things. They would rather release a product that's broken than delay a product. That unfortunately is the way that Activision tend to work. Now, I'm meant to be killing a bunch of stuff out here. I'm collecting this Stygia, but there's very little to kill. You really are going to be like fighting over mobs in this place for a while. I hate Activision. I'm not sure there's many people that sort of... I love the products they produce. As a company though, I can't say I like them. Aha, well there was the souls I needed. Now I should have the Stygia to buy that relocation thing. I hate Activision, they have ruined everything. I mean, that is a little melodramatic, I feel. I can't necessarily say they've ruined everything. Whether they've... I don't know. You got to remember that this game is like 15 years old now. There's not another game that in existence that has lasted this long. In one state. I mean, you have like... There are obviously... You have your Mario and your Sonic and whatever, but they have new games like constantly to refresh the brand. World of Warcraft is being... Okay, they release expansions, but the fundamental heart, it's been the same game for 15 years.
Return only if you must.
Oh, how many rules have we got to go through? Reinforce 4 soul wards.
Rule 2.
Oh, this one looks easy.
Profile.
This is pretty close.
Home is no place for theatrics.
They didn't force Blizzard to sell out.
While in Denver,
Blizzard agreed with the merger. Blizzard is just like a studio for them, not a company. Yeah, that's an issue.
attention. And attention is exactly
Unfortunately, nowadays,
what you don't want.
money is the driving force behind pretty much every large corporate decision.
First, he'll turn the soul seekers on you. Then the
But we got to be thankful because they could have turned World of Warcraft into World of Microtransaction Craft. Now, yes, we have the store. Yes, there are boosts, but you only need to look at like Call of Duty, for example, to see how bad the situation could be.
here in my refuge. Not so out there. Remember, should a tragic fate befall you, some of that precious Stygia might slip
I mean, I'm still not patting them on the back or anything, but they treat a lot of their other games like just cash cows. And as soon as they've milked that cash cow dry, they just throw that old game in the bin. I mean, they've done the same thing with the sport games, FIFA. Like, it's just FIFA's an example of a game that I know it's not Activision Blizzard, but it's a model of game that just gets completely squeezed dry of everything and then just discarded.
Trust not. Rule 3. Trust is earned, and information.
Where do we put this signalling beacon then?
You
Yeah, I really don't want to end up in a downward spiral of shitting on Activision Blizzard. That's not entertaining for anybody. So this last signaling beacon is, I seem to remember only being these 3 rules that you have to do before Venari starts to play game properly. And we should now, hopefully, this should push us further into the campaign and get us our first few souls so we can start getting up and running with the garden. And that was my main goal, my main thing I wanted to achieve today was to get my garden up and running again. Because I need the garden for my resources. So is this the signalling beacon? It looks like it. Does Druid travel form work in the Moor? Apparently so, yeah. It's one of the only... I mean, it's a definite perk of being a Druid. I don't think you get full speed. I don't think you get the full 100 speed. I think it's less than maximum speed, but you do still travel faster than... yeah, you still travel faster than what any other class can out here. There's also a mount that you can get from Torghast. If you can complete, I think it's all eight corridors of Torghast, you get an achievement and a mount that comes with it that can then be used in the Moor. But apparently that's something that's going to take a reasonable amount of time. That could be like an 8-hour grind, but you only ever have to do it once, because once you've got the account, once you've got the brain can't work today. Once you've got the mount, it's account bound, you're good to go from there. So that might be something to look at trying to do early on as well, because you're going to spend a lot of time in the Moor, even though it feels kind of really bare and really empty right now, and it's annoying that you can only run, you can't mount. Just make that easier for yourself by going and getting one of those mounts early on. 8 corridors possible in the first week. I think you only get access to 3 corridors a week, so it's going to be one of those that as long as you are doing your Torghast regularly, after a few weeks you'll have access to the mount. But arguably you're going to want to do that anyway, simply for the basis that you're going to want your Soul Ash to be able to upgrade your legendaries. You can only get 100 Soul Ash a week, so that's going to be pretty high on your priority list of things to do each week. Of course, if you're maining a Druid, then it's pretty easy game from there. Use your oh, I could have used the Cipher of Relocation to return. I didn't have to run all the way back. Oh well, I did anyway. I'm back here now. Speak to Bolvar, 4 Dragon and Norobos. Alrighty. I should remember to use my movement speed increase. At least I've got Trailblazer, so at least I have 30% movement increased over everybody else. Is there a limit to legendary crafting? Not the base items, no, but constructing the final legendary requires Soul Ash, which comes from Torghast. For each rank of legendary, you need an additional 100 Ash. So 100 Ash for rank 1, 400 Ash for rank 4. But if you upgrade, if you start at rank 1, you can upgrade slowly using more and more Ash each time. So here we go. Now we get our first redeemed souls. And these are what we then use to start building our covenant buildings up. Now we can head back over to Flutterby, or Flutterby, or whatever you want to call it. One memento.
The purpose reveals our way. Trust.
Slight interlude. Many people who prefer group content that aren't hyped for Torghast, but I am. I hope they make it into a cool roguelite style thing and not just another Islands. Yeah, I'm really psyched for Torghast. I know I've not played Torghast a lot on stream, but any time I've got like 20 minutes to kill, I just jump in Torghast and do a run in Torghast. It's so fun. Every time you go through it, you can kind of build a different spec. It's really cool. The Torghast alone makes me want to play multiple different specs. I want to do Torghast on a paladin. I want to do Torghast on a mage. I want to zoom through there on a death knight. I'm more interested about leveling up my characters to be able to play Torghast on different classes than I am to like level them normally. It's a bit of a weird one, but yeah, I really hope it doesn't turn into an Islands. I hope they don't pack it full of rewards, because if they pack it full of rewards, then it becomes something that people feel obliged to do, rather than something they want to do. Why the loading screen? Why did I land and get a loading screen? Okay, odd. Sure. Right, now we should get ourselves a few souls. What are they called? They called the redeemed souls? What are they called? Yeah, redeemed soul. So you get these from the Maw by default. Did anyone get the blob boss that spawns into more blobs? Couldn't kill that guy at all. I've not come across that one so far. That sounds kind of cool though. I don't know if any of you guys have played Terraria, but it sounds like the King Slime in Terraria. Okay, now we can go speak to Zayad again, and hopefully now is when we unlock our Queen's Conservatory. First new growth. Start a Sanctum upgrade, and that will get you a Renowned as well. Show me the Sanctum. Queen's Conservatory, please. How long is this going to take? It's going to take an hour. Derp. Okay, it's on the go. Finally. Finally it's on the go. Looks like they nerfed gold rewards. Specifically from Torghast or in general? I mean, in general they seem to have increased gold rewards in my opinion, but okay, well, in an hour we can come back. We're getting somewhere though, this is good. Forger bonds, are you ready for another gift? The next boon we grant thee is one of bonds. As you have bound yourself to us, we shall bind to you. In the binding of souls we become something greater. Okay. In what way did they nerf gold rewards? 1 minute. We're back. Quest gold reward increase. Well, not necessarily increase as much, but you still have your callings, your covenant callings, and you get goodie bags from there. And currently, it's just a grey item, but I got like 2,000 gold from a grey item somewhere. There we go. Dream Lure candle, 2,082 gold. So if you've got a few characters and you're doing the callings again, that's the same as doing your emissaries. So yeah, maybe it's not an increase, but it's not an active decrease either. What's my streaming schedule? Monday through till Friday, similar sort of times as now. I can only give you times based on my local time. I start my stream at about 3. I start my stream at about 11 and I tend to end it at about 3. Sometimes more, sometimes earlier, sometimes later. It fluctuates, but Monday through till Friday at this exact time, I'm usually on. Okay, now we get our soulbinds. Look, now we're getting somewhere. Although I can't click the thing. Aha, cutscenes. Boom! That's what I had bugged on my last character. I wasn't even able to get to this point. Activate your soulbind power using the Forge of Bonds. There we go. Well, we don't need to do any of this business now. Now that I've got it, it's good. We're up and running with BrainThink. Up and running with the Queen's Conservatory, which is nice. Pucker, great job. Talking about stream schedule, this is actually at the point where I'm going to leave it for today. I didn't get as much done today as I wanted to. We got distracted slightly with a few things. That is my fault entirely. But we went over some of the new profession changes. Tomorrow we will create some characters and look at professions in detail. Promise. So if you've got any questions overnight, think of them, bring them to the stream tomorrow. You can always throw questions at me on Twitter, at Manthieus. Pretty easy to find across the internet. We'll be streaming tomorrow. Give this video a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. Guys, have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.